and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
Subaru is built for winter. So with incredible control, stability, and grip. And 220 millimeters of ground clearance, and you're not getting stuck in snowbanks. You'll drive right through them. And inside, luxurious heated seats and a heated steering wheel. Subaru vehicles have earned top safety picks, giving you
Motion is to win now.
Right.
Robert Rice the wins it for the Cougars.
Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Pulsar introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports. Sports 1440.
The Jason Gregor Show. On Sports 1440.
Motion is to win now. Rice. Got it! Robert Rice the third wins it for the Cougars.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
The car shoots. Score! The Avalanche time with 8 seconds remaining in regulation on the power play.
Well, a wonderful Wednesday afternoon, and welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. As always, it's brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. The text line, 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. You can always email us, Gregor at sports1440.ca in our email inbox. We'll be discussing the Oilers' blown opportunity last night against the Buffalo Sabres, as the Oilers remain one of the 5 teams in the NHL who has yet to win 3 consecutive games. The Oilers, Seattle. Who else? It's not good. It's kind of surprising to me that a team that has this much talent, like, all you got to do is watch the third period and be like, Edmonton's a better team than Buffalo if they decide to do it. But hasn't worked out for them. And Nashville, St. Louis, Seattle. No, it's not Seattle. St. Louis, Nashville, the Oilers, teams who can't win 3 in a row. Columbus, it's not ideal. And of course, Buffalo, who they've won twice in a row, 5 times. They've never got the Oilers have won twice in a row, 4 times, never been able to get to 3 in a row. So they'll have to start again, maybe tomorrow. We shall see. The Detroit Red Wings come to town. The Red Wings, that'll be their 3rd game in 4 nights. The Red Wings are playing in Calgary tonight. And the Oilers was a sluggish first period, a terrible second period for the first 15 minutes. They got outshot 14-3, outscored 2-0, and that's including a disallowed goal. And then they woke up in the 3rd period, and they came out guns a-blazing, and they were all over them, skating miles around them, and it should have been the start of the game, but it wasn't. And you know what? They tie it late with a second to go, and it's crazy that the business going right. Really, in the 3rd period, the fans, because they finally got something to cheer for, were very loud. And when McDavid tied it, you're thinking, okay, you know what? They're going to actually complete this comeback. And then it's one of those, hey, good teams find ways to win games. Nope. And then they just, Bouchard and McDavid puck watching. They leave the front of the net wide open, and Alex Tuck has a 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi goal. And they lose 4-3. So same lineup because the Oilers don't have any extra players right now. Matthias Janmark didn't skate today. It's just a maintenance day. He'll be ready to play tomorrow. But for the road trip, expect the Oilers to put Jake Wallman on LTIR. It'd be retroactive to when he got injured. He would be eligible to come off of LTIR Tuesday in Pittsburgh. So it's, he'd only basically be the first 2 games of the road trip that he wouldn't be eligible for, and he wasn't going to play then anyway. So that's just a paper transaction to free up some space so they could bring up an extra forward and an extra defenseman. Noah Phillips not going to be ready to play on Saturday or Sunday. Clattenburg's not going to be ready to play on Saturday or Sunday. So that's why I look for that. It's kind of a paper move for Wallman. He's already on IR, but now he'll just go to LTIR, and that'll free up some space. And now who they bring up, interesting discussion. Defense, and don't be shocked if the defenseman they bring up, now, is he going to play? Don't think so, but I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Brown is the defenseman who gets called up. Now, forward is going to be a different discussion because Bakersfield, they've got some guys down there. Quinn Hudson's having a really good year, 13 goals, 24 points in 21 games. All right, you've got Isaac Howard, who's played 8 games. He has 9 points. Now, he had 6 games in his first 3 points, and now has 3 in the last 5. So if I'm a betting man, I'm thinking it might be Quinn Hudson. That's just my thoughts. Nothing confirmed on that, but probably between those two would be my guess. We'll see. Also, today, we got a loaded show for you today. Very much looking forward to it. Of course, business of sports. We always have a unique business. We're going to talk to a guy, former NHLer, AHLer, who's now in business. Josh Healy will join us. We will have Ken Hitchcock stopping by, talking all things hockey. We got Paul Sir, a little basketball. Mike Rupp joins us coming up in 50 minutes time. We got the 2-minute warning with Tater, Speck, your Remchuk. So a busy Wednesday afternoon. Also, month of giving. Big thanks to Andrew yesterday. Got a good package from the Brick at $3,500. Today, this is something that every one of us uses on a daily basis. And having I like to read things. So I've read up on lots of different things. And, our water system, while it's great, there's a lot of stuff in it that I like to get rid of. So I actually got myself a home filtration system a few years ago, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And that's what you can get today, courtesy of Culligan. It's the Culligan water treatment system for your home. So it's 3 separate units in your package. There's a high-efficiency smart water softener. There's a smart reverse osmosis system with a special cartridge for forever chemicals and chloramines. Also, the whole home organic containment removal system. So basically, you can say goodbye to dry skin, dingy laundry, scale buildup throughout your house. The Culligan water softener is a must for Edmonton's water supply. Now, if you are rural people can bid on it, and they have a different treatment for rural, because everybody knows if you got well water, it's a little bit different. So this pure water it's free from heavy metals, chlorine, pharmaceuticals, and forever chemicals. No more jugs to lift, and feel good about helping our environment by reducing plastic water bottle waste. So there you go. It uses smart technology to provide real-time updates to your phone on the system status and built-in leak detection to keep your home safe from water damage. And you know what? You just, you want to put more, the more we learn about it, we want to put more good stuff in our body. We all drink water. It's something everybody drinks every day, some more than others. How many cups? Depends on how thirsty you are. Or, some people I find, I like to joke, there's a few people that are camels. I'm like, do you guys ever drink? All right, I'm an 8-cup plus type of guy water. I love it. Drink water all the time. And you get this system for your home. It'll be fantastic. So 833-401-1440 for the Culligan water treatment system. And you're going to get awesome service from Jonathan and his crew down there at Culligan. You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it. So there you go. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Feel better, taste better, live better. That's what you'll get with Colligan. Other news and notes today, it's getting closer to a possibility. 44 years of age, Philip Rivers has signed with the Colts. He did his press conference today. I actually quite enjoyed his press conference. Cons, I know he's one of your favorite players of all time. Did you happen to listen to what Mr. Rivers had to say about this opportunity that's sitting in front of him?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been all over it. I watched the press conference. Man, he was like a comedian. He had the crowd, the media howling there. I actually thought they enhanced the volume there on the laughter, but watched his workouts, watch him stretching a little bit, talking with Anthony Richardson. I love this story. And I think he's just such a beauty. He's just a guy who loves football, Gregor. Like, he goes back to, any interview he had when he's accused of being a baby. He's like, oh, I just love playing the game. I get into it, guys. It's fun to trash talk. So, yeah, I've been all over this one.
Well, I liked his response about kind of, why you would do it. He says, hey, man, I've been around football for a long time. You never lose the love of it. I've been watching every Charger game, every Colts game, and I watch a lot of other football. He's obviously been coaching football. And he was quick to say that, hey, that doesn't mean that, I'm in quarterback evaluation mode. But when you did it for as long as he did, it's probably something that's going to come back pretty quickly. Now, being in the pocket all of a sudden and having to throw before you get your head taken off, well, that's a little bit different. But it's something that I'm probably sure in practice, you might say, hey, guys, get a little closer to me just so I can maybe feel it a little bit, right? Because we all know that you never hit the quarterback in practice. But just for the story to see, I want to watch it. Right? Like, the Colts are, their O-line struggling right now. Even with Daniel Jones before he got injured, like, their offense really, they haven't been able to run the ball anymore with Jonathan Taylor. He was running the ball. He was running wild over everybody for the first 12 weeks, 10 weeks of the season. But since then, it's been a slog for them to run the ball. And I don't know, like, Rivers sure isn't going to be a threat to run. So it's not like him behind center is going to change that necessarily. But we'll see what he's got left. I'm not expecting much, to be honest. And yeah, he said, he goes, hey, I've been out of the league for 5 years. Like, it's hard. But you never lose that love for the game. And think about anybody out there. If you got one more opportunity, right? One more opportunity within 5 years of quitting. Like, if you're a 25-year-old and your last year of junior was 20, and for some reason they change your rules and you could go back and play again, even though you maybe been playing men's league or rec league, so you'd still been skating, touching the puck, but not playing a game, hadn't got hit in 5 years. You would all jump at that opportunity. How could you not? Right? Everybody, you play football, you play basketball, anything. If you could go back at whatever the highest level was you played, and it was within 5 years, heck, some of you 20 years later would say, oh, I love it, man. Like, I'd love to go play contact hockey again. You'd probably get your bell rung, right? You'd be a lot slower than we thought, but it would be amazing. It'd be absolutely amazing to see it and to experience it. So I'm hoping it happens, right? Like, I'm hoping it's not just a sign to the practice roster and not play story.
Well, and Gregor, like, obviously having him out there as a running threat, that's never been his game. But what I would say is, when you have the Seahawks throwing their exotic looks at you because they're a very good defense, and you have to choose between Philip Rivers, Riley Leonard, or Brett Rippon, trying to analyze what they're doing and call audibles, give me Philip Rivers all day. Like, and he'll check down you to death. Like, he does not mind doing that. So if he has to do that and that's all he does, and it's moving the football, he'll do it. Like that. He won football games doing that. Danny Woodhead had huge numbers because of that. So although he doesn't run the football and his mobility has never been a strength of him, I think he's one of the most intelligent quarterbacks to play the game, and he can run through these defenses. He knows the offense because, as we talked about, he and Shane Steichen run the same offense, albeit different levels, talk every week. So I think that alone can help the running game. Like, okay, let's switch this up. Let's call something different here. And, let's not run left here. Let's run right. Let's not pass. Let's check down here. Let's kill that play. I think those types of things he can immediately help with.
Yeah, why not? But I think it'd be a fun story. I just, you know what? Regardless of the outcome, I think it would be a fun story for sure. Darren opens up the Binnyware at $2,000 for our Colligan water package. And hey, like I always say, when we get close to retail, I'll let everybody know that's always our goal. We're helping out the Christmas Bureau today. 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, regarding Clattenburg, what's his injury? Since he does a couple stitches of the eye, missing time, let alone multiple games. So I've not heard anything particular as injuries, an actual eyeball injury. Nathan and Beaumont. Nathan, my understanding is it got him right around the eye, but it's had swelling internally. And basically the doctors are like, when you have that swelling, you're not allowed to have get your heart rate up and your blood, because then the pump is going to pump more blood to it, and it can cause some problems. So he had a little bit of vision problems the first few days. It's getting better, but he was saying until he passes some tests, he can't maximize his physical exertion, right? So he doesn't have he had the stitches around, but it's all of the just kind of hit him in the right spot. And he's got tons of swelling internally around it. That's my understanding. So I'm sure I could get Dr. Scott to probably talk even more so, like how you had a little bit of vision issues. He woke up the next day, right? Because like a lot of times, right, you go to bed, sleep, now everything swells up a little bit more overnight. So yeah, that's what's going on with him. So we'll see. Hey, boys, can't beat Gordie Howe doing it from Geordie. I'd love to do it. Exactly. Right. Exactly. Gordie Howe was 50 years of age, 52 when he came back and played. It was unreal. Hey, Greg's, it's so true. I'd love nothing more than to go out and play some contact hockey again. Just let out some anger from Brett. Yeah. Well, and it's true. And anybody who's ever played a contact sport knows, well, yeah, you can release some anger yourself, but even getting hit in a weird way, it's like, okay, yeah, I took a shot. I'm giving one. Okay, here we go. And you just don't get to do it. Like men's league is fun. Don't get me wrong. Right. You get your buddy. It's more the dressing room. Right. I don't care what you're playing. Pick up basketball. You're not taking elbows under the rim, whatever. It's just the pace isn't the same. If you got one chance to go back for one night and play at a high intense game, I don't know any athlete who would say no. If you're physically able to do it, I don't know any guy who would say no, or a girl. Are you kidding me? Like, you'd love it. You'd love it. Like I coach, my son and their U13, right? Pee Wee for the older folks. And, you get out and you have a scrimmage every now and then, and hey, I can still dangle them at that age. It's, that's going to close here soon. I've noticed it, but I still got some time left. And it's still fun, man. Roof daddy, play a little battle drill, 1-on-1, 2-on-2, right? Deke a guy out, score. It still feels awesome, right? It just does. Right? I haven't played men's league in many years, but it's fun, man. It's like, I love shinny in the wintertime on a day where, it's nice outside. Sometimes you're just wearing the toque. And you know what? You'll have a few shifts where actually try as hard as you can. Now, you're obviously not as quick as you used to be, but for those few strides, you're going as hard as you can. It feels awesome. Like that's why, like, when people say, I can't believe this guy hasn't retired. I can. You would play as long as you could until they could just peel it away, because you're never going to get that type of competition. Now, you can have different competitions in sales, in business, in other ways, but it's not the physical competition, right? And that's why some people, they go and run marathons. Well, it's not physical, but it's a competition. I can run faster than you. And that's why you have senior events. Why do you think you have people 60, 70 that are in senior competitions? Because it's still competitiveness. And it's a little bit of a drug. It's a little bit of a drug, right? Anybody who's played, man, you miss so much aspects of it. Like, I miss when your team wins a big game and that jubilation of coming off the bench and everybody's celebrating in the dressing room. You look around and like everybody's freaking happy, right? It's why I think about fans. Why do fans love sporting events? You go to a game, think about if you were at the game or whether you're at a watch party, think about how you feel when the Oilers scored an overtime goal in the playoffs last year. You didn't even play. And you're like, man, that was unreal. So that's why, Phil Rivers, I wish him the best, man. I hope it works out. We'll take a quick break. We'll return. Mike Rupp will join us. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
For silly hockey fans, your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Now for today's holiday special, Legacy Heating and Cooling saves Christmas. Santa's furnace broke down in the shop last night, and the elves couldn't make any toys, that's right, so Santa called up his pals at Legacy Heating. And ho, 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 golly gee, 1 year, no payments, interest-free, and the elves are working merrily with a brand new furnace from Legacy. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
He's a winner.
Sweet.
She's a winner too.
Right.
Everyone's a winner during Wish and Win at Wolf GMC Buick. Every single customer is guaranteed at least a $500 bonus with a chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new GMC or Buick. At Wolf GMC Buick, we also have 0% financing up to 84 months on most of our popular SUVs and trucks. And we're clearing out remaining 25s, including cash discounts up to $10,000 on a great selection of Sierra HDs. 90 seconds east of the Henday. Wolf GMC Buick, where everyone wins.
I'm making my list, checking it twice. And guess what? I'm giving Wilhock beef jerky to everyone, naughty and nice. Because honestly, everyone deserves a taste of Alberta's finest, no matter if they've been bad or good. So this holiday season, skip the chocolates and pass on the turkey. Make sure you're Wilhocking around the Christmas tree with Alberta's best beef jerky. Ho, ho, ho!
Call to place your pre-order today at 780-986-2537. Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
Talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.222, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. You can always text the show, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, Rivers is Terry Ryan 2.0. Hey, touche. TR did that. That's right. Played in the little ECHL game, if you recall. So that's good. Our month of giving package today. We're off to a good start in the first segment at $2,000 with Darren. This is a great package that you can get in your home. Something to use every day. Water. It's courtesy of Culligan and their water treatment filtration system. It's the high efficiency smart water softener with the aqua sensor, the smart reverse osmosis system, and the whole house chlorine removal system. And removes the hard scale from the main water supply, which benefits hair, skin, laundry, plumbing, infrastructure. Removes dissolved solids, organics, heavy metals, pharmaceuticals, the forever chemicals, PFOA and PFOS from household drinking water. So it's something you're going to use every day, putting in your body, puts on your body, and you'll notice a difference. I've had it in my house for a few years, and I can tell you, massive difference. Way better. I love it. So 833-401-1440. We're helping out the Christmas Bureau today. As it's time to go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's and their all-new Benny-style breakfast. Try your bacon and egg McMuffin topped with rich, creamy hollandaise-style sauce. For limited time only at McDonald's. Mike Rupp from NHL Network, former Stanley Cup winner, Game 7 hero, joined us. And Rupper, Phil Rivers, 44 years of age, man, gets the call. If they came up to Rupper, we need you for a few games. Is it too long for you, or would you still say, yeah, I'll do it?
No, absolutely not.
No.
I could not do it. No one would want me doing it. No, it's impressive, man. It's impressive just to be able to say, especially at that position, you know what I mean? Like, if anything, the role that I played, maybe I can hide it a little bit, but you can't you can't do that at the quarterback position. So it's going to be an intriguing situation, man. I love that stuff. I loved Philip Rivers when he was playing, and it's a pretty cool story.
Yeah, well, you are 11 years removed from playing, so that is a little bit different.
A little different.
But let's say you were 2 years removed. Would you have jumped at it 2 or 3?
Oh yeah, I would have done it then. I would have done it then for sure. I still felt like you did enough. I mean, that's the funny thing, is you don't see it in hockey though, because it's such a unique. Like, I just don't believe that when guys are done playing for multiple years, you're not skating that frequently. Like, it's tough to really get back going. You can lose it really, really quick. So hockey's one of those rare ones where if someone can do it, it's pretty special feat to be able to come back and play.
Yeah, like Gordie Howe, man, many moons ago, right? The legend, Jaromir Jagr has never really stepped away from the game, even at 50, which is wild. But like, I guess if you're a Rivers has been coaching, right, all the time. And like he says, he goes, it's not the same, but I'm throwing balls. I'm feeling the ball. I'm watching all the games. And it is like, you still walk every day, right? That's what makes hockey so unique, is skating it's a very abnormal, unnatural motion, to be honest, right? Like, we don't walk, right? Like putting our legs out to the side or anything like that, and a little bit leaned over forward. So, but I
think that's the thing. It's like that. Yeah. That's what I notice the most when I'm done playing is just the way hockey players, the way your hips open up. Like, when you do that every single day, it's a very unique movement. And when you just don't do it, doesn't mean I can't do it again, but my legs are meant to go straight forward and backwards now. You know what I mean? Like, I do that walking, I do that with anything you do. And hockey's just such a different animal. You lose some of that flexibility. It's a game changer. It really is.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? I think a lot of athletes and fans are like, man, it's kind of a fun story. I hope he gets in and see it. Like, I'm not expecting him to but man, if he even throws one touchdown pass, that would be absolutely epic, regardless of the outcome of the game. Because it's not like the team it's not like he's going to derail the team. The team's kind of derailed itself here a little bit as of late. A few things to look at around the league. The orders last night, just it can kind of show you how, man, when you don't show up, like the Oilers still haven't won 3 games in a row. And they'd actually played pretty good hockey. You're thinking, oh, here we go. And they can't find that. And it's hard. But even this team right now, they're struggling to find that consistent effort. It showed up in the third period and they dominated. But, that got them a tie. And then in overtime, you make a bad read and you leave a guy wide open and boom, it's game over. And it shows you how hard it is. Like, when a team wins 10 in a row, and I'm like, I don't care who they played, it's impressive.
It is. It certainly is. And it's kind of a wild stat. And we know that this hasn't been best of Oilers seasons to date, but to think that you haven't done 3 in a row, that's kind of crazy. I think about maybe some of the teams that are not good teams. I feel like win 3 in a row at least one time. And when I think about that game yesterday, it's exciting because of what happened to force the overtime. I mean, no fan of any sport's going to say, no, that was boring, or, oh, I just can't believe they put themselves in. It's exciting. We want to see that. But it's hard for me to be excited and think, because it's nothing new. They're not a team that I'm like, well, okay, they can come back in games. They've been doing that for years. Like, they are capable of doing that. So I'm not really surprised by that. I think it's just the fact that they go down the way they do against a team like the Buffalo Sabres. It just kind of, I don't want to pay too much attention to it, but to your point, I'm kind of waiting, and it does feel like they're turning a corner. But a game like that is like, maybe it's not quite there yet, but it's on its way, I believe. And I think that you got to take those games with a grain of salt, where you sit there and say, all right, well, we lost that game in overtime. We're pretty darn lucky we even got a point out of that. We got to be better moving forward.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And a few other teams, like we're at the 30-game mark now, Rupper. Utah, that's a huge blow for a team in Logan Cooley. Like, that's massive. That team, they had that great stretch early. I think they won 6 in a row, but since then, Utah hasn't been good, and now it gets even harder without Cooley.
Yeah, so now you're starting to see some of the injuries hit this team, and we've seen so many teams this year getting hit. But to your point, I mean, what a start. I mean, just through the first few weeks of the season, probably the first month, this team was winning. They had that winning streak. Then it was, just remember the line that I think it was the Cooley, Peterka, Gunther line was the best line in hockey to start the season. And then things kind of chilled out on a lot of different fronts with that team. And you had a great second line with, if you want to call them a second line, with Schmaltz and Keller. And it's just they have a lot of talent, and their game has just dropped off. And I think they're starting to get to that point now where we've seen this movie before, and we thought it was going to be a little bit different this year, especially the way they started. And here they are at this crossroads now, dealing with a big injury to Logan Cooley. I don't know. I kind of feel like GM Bill Armstrong needs to shake things up a little bit and do something. And he's been kind of in this position for a number of years now, where he's got assets, he's got picks, he's got all this stuff, and they need help. They need help right now. They need some sort of boost of some sort. And man, we've talked about it even where is Andre Tourigny on a job on the line? Is he on the hot seat? I think he's a fantastic coach, and that doesn't mean that he would be deserving of being let go. But this is the National Hockey League. We've seen that many times where coaches get fired and they don't deserve it. I think this team needs a little bit of a shakeup. I hope it's not that, because I do think they're coached well. I think this is a good group, but they got to find a way to get over the hump, because they just keep coming back to this, dating back to their Arizona days, where they go in the dumps for a number of weeks or just aren't sharp, and their season slips away from them. And it's kind of seemed like it's getting to that point right now.
Mike Rupp joins us here on Sports 1440. That's, there's always a great coach, but yeah, sometimes a great coach isn't the great coach for that group, right? And eventually you do need to get some results from a group. It's kind of like the GM in Buffalo. Like, to me, it's a no-brainer. I'm making that GM change, and I'm kind of surprised they haven't made it. I don't know what they're waiting for, to be bluntly honest. But Rupper, in Edmonton, McDavid tied the game with like 1.4 seconds to go.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh, Beckett Seneke tied the game with 0.1 second remaining. Like, the Anaheim Ducks, I see then they win that game in a shootout. And that's the second or third time the Ducks have tied a game late in a game. And some years, a lot of things go right for you. And I look at the Ducks right now, Rupper, and I'm not saying they're going to win the division, but the Ducks, to me, are a playoff team. I think they've got enough that they will be a playoff te're in the Pacific Division this year.
They got some spunk, and that was an incredible way for that game to end. And just, we're not really necessarily talking about the play in general or the situation, but the scenario is you got 15 seconds left. Chris Kreider takes a penalty. So you're shorthanded for the last 15 seconds of the game, and you got a center ice face-off that Pittsburgh wins. Okay, so you don't even have, you're not even pulling a goalie yet. It's 5-on-4 on the ice. and Pittsburgh has the puck, and it gets to about 8 seconds left. Jacob Trouba has the puck behind his own net with Ville Husso in net. So they haven't even gotten their fifth attacker out. He rims it around the boards, and they go down. And I guess the big kicker for me is I was really questioning maybe the personnel that was on the ice for the Penguins. They almost treated it like they were going on the power play, which they were, but they didn't need a power play goal. Yeah. And then I just a whole nother conversation is I don't understand why you just don't take a penalty and pull a guy down in the closing seconds of a game. Like you're gonna ice the game and whatever. But anyways, a lot of resolve that Seneke's at. He's awesome. And the way he just kind of took that puck to the net in an ugly way, maybe a little fortunate as well. But the Anaheim, that's what they've got. And then you get into the shootout and you see Leo Carlsson, the talent level that he's been playing at. Cutter Gauthier was on fire at the beginning of the year, and you just start looking at some of the talent on this hockey club. Jackson Lacombe with a beautiful goal going short side on Shelov's in that. They're talented, and they've got some bite to them, and they got some feistiness. I'm on the same page as you, Greg's. Like, this is a fun team to watch, but there's something unique about them, and you might need some moments like this of the season to make you feel like something special is happening. It's going to be a grind. I love where they're at right now, but we're starting to get to that different realm of the season where things are going to start changing as far as getting points and having success getting points in games. We'll see if they adjust, but I think they can. We'll see if they will, but I'd love to see these guys in the playoffs.
Well, it was a wild night in the NHL when you consider there was how many games last night? Were there 10? 4 of them were tied in the final 14 seconds. Vegas, Dorofeev tied it with 14 seconds ago. They lost. You also had Nathan McKinnon, or sorry, was it Makar? It was Makar. Who tied it with 8 seconds to go, but they lost in a shootout. And Edmonton tied it, and they lost. The only team that tied and win were the Ducks. But it is like no lead safe, and your strategy makes sense to me. Because take a blatant penalty with 5 or 10 seconds left. Because you know what? You take the penalty. Once you touch the puck, now it's a face-off. You can get reset. Yeah, it's a 6-on-4, but there's only 5 or 6 seconds left. Like if you're getting beat cleanly, take a penalty all day.
Do you remember? Listeners would remember this. I think it was 2 years ago. The Connor Garland on Connor McDavid at the end of the game. Do you remember McDavid? Did he get suspended or fined? He cross-checked Garland right in the mouth. Yeah. He laid a cross-check on him, and we interviewed Connor Garland about it, and I asked him and brought back that video, and he said, "Oh yeah, like I deserved that. I would have cross-checked someone in the face if they did that to me." But he's like, it's the closing seconds. I'm pretty sure the situation was kind of the same. Edmonton needed a goal, and there's a few seconds left in the game, and he basically just grabbed on and hogtied Connor McDavid. Just wouldn't let him go. Hold on to anything he can, the jersey, the stick, anything. And McDavid kept trying to get away, was frustrated, and laid that cross-check. And I kind of like that, actually, just to but it's a great strategy by Connor Garland. I mean, at the end of the game, so let's say in these situations, I mean, you can almost do it. I almost think that every player on the ice knows when there's 15 seconds left in the game. Everybody on the bench is yelling the time. You're looking up, you're getting your peaks, you get opportunities to find it. In the Pittsburgh situation, that might be the most egregious one, where it's like, just grab the guy. I mean, break his stick, do something, like pull him down, trip him, do anything you want to do, because the fact of the matter is your team has to touch the puck. Then you can play that little game that we see from time to time. Oh, I'm not going to touch it, you touch it. The referee's going to let that go for a few seconds. Next thing you know, the horn may go off. The game's over. Or if there's 4 or 5 seconds left, well, there's a face-off. You win a face-off, game over. So I don't understand why we don't see that strategy a little bit more. Again, we saw that with Connor Garland and McDavid a couple years ago. I just find that there's times, especially when you have net front scrums, just grab on to guys. Just take them out of the equation completely. And we don't see teams do it. And we got some pretty exciting hockey last night because of it.
Yeah, it's been wild for sure. You look at some other teams in the East, and it's so close, right? Like to sit here and say, oh, geez, like Florida wins tonight, and suddenly they're 3 points out of a playoff spot, right? Yeah. And with some games in hand, and they're playing a banged up Utah team, so they should. But the Panthers have only played 10 road games so far. They played a boatload of home games early on this season. They're going to have a lot of road games later on. I look at the Panthers and I say, when Tkachuk comes back, if they're within 4 or 5 points, they're fine. Mm-hmm. If it's 10, then they got a problem.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. I mean, we've talked about it before where, I mean, how many times do you think we've said everybody's in it? Everyone's got a chance this year. And it's especially in the East, I feel like we keep saying that because it keeps being relevant. And this is a team that is hung on, and some people might say they've expected more. I actually think they've been just fine. I mean, where they're at right now, and if they can get that boost, yeah, that's probably the magic number. I think if it's double digits, that's going to be a lot to ask, especially when you just look at what we've seen through 30 games already this season. It's hard to get separation. There's not much separation in this league outside of maybe the top 3 teams in the Central, maybe getting a little bit of separation from the rest of that division. So yeah, I think that's kind of the sweet spot. 5, 6, 7 points. You probably are okay, but if it could be less than that, you're ready to make a move, and that's why you can't count out a team like the Florida Panthers. I think that for everything that has gone wrong for them, injury wise, even production wise, like they've had some slow starts from guys. I mean, Sam Bennett hasn't done all that much, and you got Sergei Bobrovsky hasn't looked that great. You can go on and on with the group, and to have all those things working maybe against you and still be where you're at, I think that's a dangerous place for a lot of other teams in that Eastern Conference.
Lastly, any concern for you about the Devils?
Yeah, no, there is. I thought last night was against the Senators. There's a gutsy win by them. Couldn't kill a penalty in the game. They really struggled, and I think they gave up 3 power play goals against. But it's just right now they're hanging on, and they're in this weird spot right now, and I think that they need help. I think Tom Fitzgerald, not just in the maybe the Quinn Hughes situation that we've been talking about so much. He's all over that situation, I'm assuming, but he's also, I think he's trying to find ways to give them a little bit of a boost. And they're a team that they show some guts, and they show some, they don't quit. They really, really don't. But they just don't have the swagger they have when they're full strength. And that goes beyond Jack Hughes. Like Brett Pesce's a huge loss for them. They still haven't even played with Kovacevic yet this season. They're a team that they need some goaltending performances right now. I thought Markstrom was pretty good in that game for the most part. But I am concerned. Because in about 3 weeks' time, they went from about like the top of the Metro Division to, before last night's game, second from the bottom in like the Eastern Conference. Like it can change really, really quick. So, and it almost feels like they're just watching them play. It's like they're checking off every day that goes by until they can get Jack back. And I don't know. I'm not inside that room. That's what it feels like. They're in hang-on mode right now. That's a bad place to be. They got to start putting some games together and start feeling good about themselves again.
Rupper, always great to catch up with you, buddy. Have yourself a great day. And hey, do you ever play like rec league or men's league at all anymore?
No. My goal is 1 year from now to get going and back into it. So I had foot surgery this year, and I had a couple other things done. So I'm like, I got 1 year now. That's a long time, man. 1 year to try to get in shape and get back on the ice. I'd love to play men's league. I miss it.
All right. What kind of foot surgery you have?
I had nasty, man, like bunion and just gross stuff, Just,
I had double bunion surgery, both at the same time.
Oh, did you? It's not really that fun. I got no shoes that fit right now. But it's better. It's just doing rehab on that, and then I got rehab for my hip and my knee and all that good stuff. But I'll get there.
You sound old right now. That's basically
it is. You know what happens? I once took medication for that stuff so I could play the NHL, and now I'm like, well, the healthy thing's not to take medication, so I'm off everything. Now I'm just falling apart at every limb. So, anyways,
awesome. Okay, Rupper, we'll talk to you on Friday on the Rundown, man. Have a good one.
All right, you too, buddy.
There you go. That is Mike Rupp from NHL Network. And hey, you know what? Body breaks down a little bit, but hey, good for him. He's got a year. He's got to get back in it, man. It's the thing about men's league is you got to find the right team. Like not even necessarily the skill set of the team. You just want to be on a good team with a good room, because that makes it, man. That is, God, it's the best. There's just something. It's hard to describe until you've been in it. Just how fun it is, right? You walk in that room. I don't care. Now, obviously you're committed when you're doing it on a Thursday night at 10 o'clock or 10:30. So having a better time does help. Let's not kid ourselves, especially when you're younger, whatever. We were in our early 20s, man. I didn't care. We played 10 o'clock at night on a Thursday, sometimes 11, whatever. And it was, you walk in that room and it's just like instant. Someone's chirping, someone's got a funny story. The game is whatever. The game's fun. Like, you want to compete, sure. And then you chirp the guys who don't compete or whatever. And but then after the game, there's more fun stories. Like, it's just, sometimes you'll talk about nothing and it's like the greatest hour of your life. Right? You're just sitting there laughing. And some days you just observe, right? You listen kind of bits on this story to your left and a little bit to your right. God, I do miss that, man. It's loads of fun. So if you're in it right now, enjoy it. Because once you're out, it's not the same. Quick break. We'll come back. We'll update you in a month. They're giving you more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
We want orange. Give us the orange. We want orange. Bring back the orange.
You got it, Canada. Booster Juice orange smoothies are back by popular demand. The original, the marathon, and orangesicle smoothies are back and bursting with tangy zest of oranges. They're Canadian favorites. Orange, you glad they're back? Only for a limited time. So squeeze the day, smoothie lovers, and head to a Booster Juice near you now. Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
December Oil Kings hockey at Rogers Place. Family fun that's second to none, starting at just $20 a seat.
Family Fun Sunday, your Edmonton Oil Kings face the Brandon Wheat Kings. Enjoy the Kids Fun Zone, face painting, and bouncy castles.
Have your photo taken with Santa on the concourse and receive a printed copy with a donation to Santa's Anonymous.
Plus, there'll be a pre-game mini locker room sale just in time for the holidays.
Oil Kings, Wheat Kings, photos with Santa, 4 p.m. this Family Fun Sunday.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
Just think, Kevin Karius has been covering Edmonton sports since before TikTok, Twitter, texting, and the Titanic. We may have made that last one up. Check out Karius in the mornings on Sports 1440. Your game, your station.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. We're up to $22.50 now on our Culligan package. That one comes in from Steve. This is an unreal package. It's the Culligan. It's basically your water treatment system for your home. It's basically 3 different units, but it all goes into the one. It's your high efficiency smart water softener with the Aqua sensor. It has the smart reverse osmosis system, and then, of course, the whole house chlorine removal. It's excellent. Basically, say goodbye to drier skin, dingy laundry, scale buildup throughout your home. It's going to pure your water of heavy metals and chlorine, pharmaceuticals, the forever chemicals. So it's going to be awesome. So this is a sweet, sweet deal right now at $22.50. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can text in your bids. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where, of course, casino, sports, live dealer, lotteries, and more. Whatever tickles your fancy, you can play it at PlayAlberta.ca. How about this? Friday's draw, $80 million for Lotto Max. Woo, mama. And, hey, the Jason Gregor Show specials are up. And, hey, we're thinking goals tonight. Rangers, Blackhawks. Over 5.5 combined with the Panthers and the Mammoth over 5.5. Got some odds boost on that. And then, hey, the Suns to cover a 14.5. Like, that's how good OKC is right now, that, they're favored by 14.5 points. Wild. So check it out, playalberta.ca. Now, I can understand why, because the Thunder are 23-1. And they've scored less than 120 points 6 times. One of them was in their loss when they lost. The only game they lost 121-119 to Portland. And they had a big lead in that game, too. It's wild. Like, they have been dominating teams, to the tune of like 131-101, 132-111, 124-112. Like, a 12-point lead is considered close. Now, the Suns played them close earlier in OKC. It was 123-119. So that's why I'm taking the Suns, not necessarily to win, but to potentially cover. We'll see as we get to our basketball report now, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace, man. You're going to need it if it's on the fritz. This is the week you need it, because it is getting cold starting tomorrow. No good. So get a good deal, legacyheating.ca. Host of Hoop City Saturday from 10 to 2 here on Sports 1440. Paul Sir, join us. Paulie, how you doing, man?
Doing great, Jason. How are you?
Well, I'm not as good as the Thunder. I'm pretty good, but I ain't that good.
Nobody's
right. Like, they are. It's a special team that just keeps getting, like, gonna say, hey, how could you beat them? I'm not sure how you can beat them unless you beat themselves. But do you think, like, is there any defensive strategy you could look to say, hey, I think this is the way to slow them down?
Well, I think that's a great question, and it's what I find the most fascinating about the Thunder's streak, Jason, is as great as they are offensively, I would credit their gaudy record to their defense.
Yeah.
They are far and away the best defensive team in the league, not necessarily in all of the stats, but in terms of its efficiency and its ability to adapt to who they're playing, and the way that they are able to disrupt and rattle the opponent night after night. That's what I think is so impressive, is their consistency on defense. Then go back to their offense. How do you stop them? SGA is a machine, like just a machine. When you look at his stats, like the consistency, every night you're seeing 32 to 38, and then occasionally a breakout game from there, occasionally a little dip into the high 20s, but so efficient. And then surrounding him are 10 other players that are capable of contributing in a variety of ways on any given night. You have a great player in Chet Holmgren. Jason Williams is really hitting his stride again. They're just a complete team, top to bottom, offense, defense. Everything they do right now is gold. And at this juncture, they look virtually unbeatable.
Well, so I'm going to ask you the question, because right now it's obviously who the best team is. Who's the second best team in the Western Conference? The Lakers, the Nuggets, the Rockets, the Spurs? Who do you like?
Well, when the Nuggets are healthy, I like them because of Nikola Jokic. Again, his ability to carry a team on his shoulders and have them perform way above what their capabilities are just such a testament to his greatness. So because of him, I would pick him, but that's nip and tuck with the Lakers, and the Rockets are very, very good as well. And as we know, Jason, it's all going to come down to who's healthy when the season starts to wind down and they go into the playoffs. If the Thunder remain healthy, they're going to be awfully tough for anybody to beat in a 7-game series. But if I had to pick somebody that I was going to waiver on, I would go with Denver.
Now, over in the East, you've got the Detroit Pistons, who are 19-5. The Knicks 17-7. The Celtics are heating up, even with some injuries. Those seem to be the top teams. The Raptors have hit the skids here a little bit, losers of 4 in a row again after having a 4-game losing streak earlier. And Brendan Ingram has got a reputation, Paul, of just not being able to control himself at times. And you're starting to see little cracks of that again.
You really are, and we're all seeing that he's a really good player, but there's something missing there in terms of what could be described as the locker room component or the character component to Ingram, because he has what I would call childish outbursts. The most watched one on social media, of course, is the water bottle that he threw to the ground, burst up into the face of one of the team managers. He didn't even acknowledge the person, made no effort to apologize, nothing. That I mentioned that on my show a couple of weeks ago. To me, that's a warning sign, because that tells you of something deeper that may or may not rear its head at some point later in the season. But yeah, I think Ingram's a really good player. I'm just not really sure he's the character guy you need to build around. Scotty Barnes is. But I don't know that Scotty Barnes is at the point in his career yet where he can carry a team and transcend that. You're still going to need Ingram to be an effective teammate as well as an effective player.
Yeah, no, Ed, I think he's got a little bit of growing up to do, and I don't know if he'll ever do it. We will,
100%.
We'll see. We talk about as good as OKC is. To me, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's numbers are off the charts, and he's not playing many minutes because he gets rested so much, because he dominates. Anytime they need a close game, okay, let's put him back in, and boom, they turn it on. Right? To me, he's the obvious MVP. Here we are, 24 games into the season. I know it's not even a third of the season, but I know people love Jokic because they look at all his other stat line. I just look at how dominant Gilgeous-Alexander is when he's on the floor, and that's to me what matters more. What about you?
I think I think there's a strong case for both of them, Jason. But I agree with what you're saying, because the dominance that he displays night in and night out, and as you're pointing out, the number of fourth quarters he sat out is ridiculous in blowaway wins, and I think they've had something like 5 games that they've won in single digits. This is just such a machine right now, and the best player on the best team playing at the highest level, in my mind, always should be the MVP. So I agree with you. Jokic, you can make a strong case for, because his numbers are off the chart. You take him off that team, they're a sub 500 team. You take SGA off his team, they're still a pretty good team. They're not a one-loss team, but they're still a team that probably is in the top 4 or 5 in the Western Conference. Denver, I doubt, would be. But I think your point's well taken. How do you not look at what he's doing on that team and say that's the best player in the league? And I think by the end of the season, again, barring injury, I think that will be the outcome that we'll see. Although certainly there seems to be a strong sentiment favoring Jokic this year. But in the end, I can't see how you could really vote against SGA again.
Yeah, it would be odd to me for sure. Locally, Paul, just what's your thoughts on the U of A basketball teams and Grant Mack, et cetera, the Nate, et cetera, so far this year?
Well, the U of A teams, the Pandas are a juggernaut right now. I was looking at the stats and the standings in Canada West. There's 4 teams that are 10-0 going into the holiday break.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like that. That's just crazy. So the 2 teams that have been ranked the highest, number 1 is University of Saskatchewan, number 2, the Pandas. When Scott Edwards and his Pandas match up against Lisa Tomaitis and her Huskies, wow, that is going to be a phenomenal series, a phenomenal weekend. So Scott has maybe his best team ever. And, we had him on the show a couple of weeks ago. I talked to him in September, and he said, Paul, this is something special. So far, that's exactly what they've been. But the Huskies are very good as well. So they'll have some stiffer competition in the second half of the season, playing against other undefeated teams. But so far, so good. Jeff Pippis has been fantastic as the first-year head coach of the Golden Bears. I mean, my gosh, they're off to an 8-2 start, and they're playing extremely well with the team that I don't think the expectations were that high for. So they've come out of the gate there in first place in Canada West and done extremely well. Again, they're going to have a tougher schedule in the second half of the season. So we'll see where that ends up. But they've beaten some good teams. He's got good balance. He seems to have injected a new life into the program, and it's been a great hire for the U of A. But I do want to give a shout out to two teams that are really struggling. And we had both coaches from McEwen on last weekend on Hoop City. David Kapinga is doing a great job of starting to get this woeful program mired in losing, like in no-win season after no-win season, starting to believe in themselves. They played the Bears to like 11 and 13 points, which is still a W, is still an L on the record. But a year ago, that's 40. A year ago, that's 30. So he really is focusing on the right things about building the team's sense of work ethic every day, coming to work to get better with the long-term goal in mind. And Catherine Adams is doing a great job, again, of trying to steer a program around, turn a program around. And she's been there a long time, but that's an uphill battle. To fight against the U of A for talent, that's tough. To play for a university that, quite frankly, does not do a good job in supporting its athletics programs, that's a pretty harsh statement, but I mean it, that they need more support, and I think they're making the most out of what they have. On the ACAC side, Nate's been doing really well, both men and women. I think that's been not so much a surprise on the men's part, but I think more of a surprise on the women's part. But overall, the ACAC is off to a good start. They're going to have a wonderful January 2nd and 3rd fundraiser in honor of the late, great Brian Anstice, the head coach at King. You know Brian, what a great guy.
Great guy.
Great guy. Mountain of a man, not just in stature, but much more in character. And so on the 2nd and 3rd, there's going to be 4 games on both days over at King's supporting the battle against cancer. So lots to be excited about. We hope to have Coach Torrey from Kings on this weekend to talk about that upcoming event. So we're really, really excited about it. But ACAC, great start. But our teams over at the University of Alberta, they're powerhouses in the West and in the country.
Well, I'd love to talk to the schedule maker at the women's that you have 4 teams at 10-0, and now all 4 are meeting up this weekend because Regina's in Calgary and Saskatchewan is in Alberta, and so that should make for a very interesting Friday and Saturday of basketball. So anybody out there, you want to watch some highly competitive basketball, you might want to check it out, the Pandas and the Huskies Friday. And Saturday night starts at 6, and then Friday is at 6, Saturday is at 5 p.m. down at the U of A.
I hope people will go out in droves for that, because as I mentioned, I didn't have the schedule in front of me, so thank you for making that available to everybody, Jason. But go out and support the Pandas. Lisa Tomaitis, longtime coach of the national team for Canada basketball, now the national team coach for Germany, has turned that program into a powerhouse. She's one of the greats, but as is Scott Edwards. So it's going to be a fantastic weekend for basketball in the city.
Paul, great stuff, buddy. Appreciate your time. Have yourself a wonderful day.
You as well, Jason. Thank you.
There you go. That is Paul Sir from Hoop City every Saturday, 10 a.m. right here on Sports 1440. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you. Darren is up to 2,500 now on our package. We'll update you and more when we return. Let's get to the comment and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire, where they can meet all of your car's needs and more with their digital vehicle report. They don't just tell you your car needs, they show you. Book your appointment at fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
A lighter night in the NHL. 4 games on the schedule with the Rangers in Chicago. Flames host the Wings. Panthers up against the Mammoth. and the Kraken welcome the Kings to Seattle. In the association, the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup continues. Thunder host the Suns at 5:30. At 8, Spurs taking on the Lakers. In the AJ, Devon takes on Calgary. Puck drop just after 7 o'clock. The Toronto Blue Jays have selected right-handed pitcher Spencer Miles from the San Francisco Giants with the 27th pick in the Rule 5 draft. Miles, 25 years old, has thrown just 14 innings in the Major League system with the Giants after being selected in the 4th round of the amateur draft. First baseman Pete Alonso and the Baltimore Orioles finalizing a 5-year, $155 million contract. The 5-time All-Star hit 38 home runs with 126 RBIs last season with the Mets. And University of Michigan head football coach Sherrill Moore has been terminated with cause effective immediately. Following a university investigation, evidence was found that Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. Wolverines will play the Texas Longhorns in the Citrus Bowl on New Year's Eve. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear another edition of Cam Pate's 2-Minute Warning and be joined by Hockey Hall of Fame former NHL coach Ken Hitchcock. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Mr. Rooter decorates a gingerbread house.
Wow. What did you do here, Mr. Rooter?
Well, we've got a Jube Jube toilet, complete with an icing-based wax seal. The main water line is licorice, red for hot, black for cold. You got your standard marshmallow hot water tank and a candy cane sewer line. And on the other,
wonderful
candy corn
Wednesday afternoon, and welcome.
Get the job done.
To have your
welcome
fixed, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western Canada's Sandy dealer, backed by the industry's toughest one. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Ring in the new year with a Canadian country legend. December 31st, in concert at the Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Brett Kissel. She drives me crazy. With special guests Haley Benedict and Morgan Clyburn. Bring your friends, your cowboy boots, and your party spirit for a night full of hits, celebration, and unforgettable memory. Hosted by Chris Sheets. The countdown to 2026 starts with Brett Kissel live on stage. Get your tickets now at silenticecenter.com/events.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services For all of your residential needs, call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's after 3 o'clock. How you doing? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Cougar with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as well as Oilers Nation. Thanks so much for listening, watching the show, texting in. Maybe you're having a chat, debate on the YouTube chat. It's awesome. So keep it up. We appreciate it. 833-401-1440 is the text line. It's the Gregor Show, as always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. You get special odds boost on the daily specials for the Jason Gregor Show while you're there. But hey, casino, live dealer, lottery, instance, anything where you want to try, you can do it all at PlayAlberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. As you watch for things, the OKC Thunder going for win 16 in a row, taking on the Phoenix Suns, who came close. They lost 119 to 123. They're one of the few teams that was close to the Thunder in a game this year. So they will try to get better. The Thunder are 11-0 at home and 12-1 on the road. Like, they are dominant right now. Dominant. So, but hey, the Lakers, Nuggets are both 17-6, pretty solid records. Houston Rockets 15-6, the Spurs 16-7. You got like a really good battle. 4 teams separated by a game from second to fifth. But first place right now early on is a bit of a cakewalk for the Thunder. Also, hey, we had a good first hour. $2,500 is where we sit right now in our month of giving package today, courtesy of Culligan. This is the Culligan water treatment package for your home. You can say goodbye to dry skin, dingy laundry, scale buildup, because you're going to get the high efficiency smart water softener. You'll also get a smart reverse osmosis system with a special cartridge for forever chemicals and chloramines, and you get the whole home organic contaminant removal system. All this stuff combined, right, gets you softer water, allows you water free from heavy metals, chlorine, pharmaceuticals, the forever chemicals. It's fantastic. Also has real-time updates on your phone to give you an update of your system, and a built-in leak detection to keep your home safe from water damage. So, this is an unreal package, courtesy of Culligan. And right now, Darren has it an absolute steal. About a third of the price at $2,500. So might get a bargain today. So if you're thinking about this package, today's the day you want it. 833-401-1440. We are helping out the Christmas Bureau. Goal, we always want to get to face value. But, some days we get over, some days we get a little bit under. But hopefully you can get it today and help out the Christmas Bureau. And if you want to see any of the other packages we do, you can check them out at jasongregor.com. Let's get to the 2-minute warning now, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. Furnaces conk out a lot of time, late at night, on the weekend. You need it fixed, Legacy will come. No OT. That's how you build a Legacy at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town, actually. Oh, by the way, before we get, do you know what today is, Connor Halley?
I do.
Cam Tate's birthday.
Where is he?
I don't know. I saw him at the, well, yeah, I think he's somewhere, wheeled up to a pub somewhere, just crushing some pints. But 67. So he's basically the Toronto Maple Leafs of age right now. 67 for Tater. So he's doing very well for the Wordsmiths. So happy birthday. Send him a chirpy tweet at Cam Tate. He'd very much appreciate it. He's got a really good sense of humor. So maybe we'll have to send a few out there. But happy birthday to Tater today. Of course, Cam, longtime journalist. Cam was born with cerebral palsy. And really, the fact that he's 67 years of age is somewhat of a miracle when you think of the diagnosis that they gave his parents 67 years ago. And man, he was born into the right family. Because, a lot of them said, back then it's a very different time. 67 years doesn't seem like it's that long, but times have changed a lot in our society and how they viewed people with disabilities. And you know what? There's some encouragement to kind of give up on Cam. They never did. And, Cam's been a benefactor of it. He's a witty guy, funny guy. And, doesn't let his wheelchair slow him down. And Cam always wanted to be on radio, but due to his disability couldn't until now. Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
There is a danger, a very big danger, in fact. When you write a sports column or deliver a little radio segment like this one, the danger is simple. Talking too much about yourself, making it your show when it should be about something bigger. I try, truly I do, to avoid that here on the 2-minute warning. But today is different because something special happened this morning downtown at Rogers Place in the classroom. Yes, Rogers Place has a classroom, and a really neat one at that. It's part of a remarkable project between the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation and the Edmonton Public School Board. Elementary classes come in for a full week, a week of learning the basics of exploring Rogers Place and all the magical behind-the-scenes things a hockey rink can teach. 25 classes will come through this season. It's called Ice School, and since 2017, I've had the privilege, no, the honor, of speaking to those classes. I tell them about living with cerebral palsy, about how the game of hockey shaped me, how journalism became a door, and how obstacles, when faced with teamwork, can become stepping stones. I'm also blessed to have a dear friend of 3 decades voice the audio-visual portion of the presentation. You might have heard of him, Ron McLean. But this morning, I tried something new. I told the kids about 2 extraordinary people who did more for me than they will ever know. The world knew them as Harold and Thelma. I had the honor of calling them Mom and Dad. And I asked those young students to carry on Harold and Thelma's legacy, a legacy of sacrifice, of kindness, of caring, by telling someone today that they loved them. Today seemed like the perfect day for that request, because, well, today is my birthday. This has been the 2-minute warning. Gregor, Halley, Kruger, and me, Tater. Weekdays, Sports 1440.
Yes, Cam he's a wonderful storyteller. He's a great wordsmith, as many of you have probably learned from listening to his 2-minute warning over the last few years. Happy that he's part of our show on a daily basis. And also, if Tater's not chirping you, basically doesn't like you. So, you know what? The young guys around the station, they know that very well. And it's a lot of fun. So hope you have a great day, Tater. And thanks for your contributions to the show. It makes us laugh. Sometimes brings a tear to our eye, and it's great. And he's a big inspiration for people with disabilities to never give up and to never think any obstacle is too much. And he's had a lot of people who believe in him, but he's the guy who still has to go out and do it. And you know what? See Tater, he's at the rink quite often. Like, the guy's 67, he still works incredibly hard. So have a great B-Day, Tater. And that's the next year we'll say something else nice. Until then, we'll just chirp each other in between. But today's the day where we say nice things to you. So happy birthday to the legend Cam Tate. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you, Sports 1440. When we return, another coaching legend, Hall of Famer, Ken Hitchcock will join us. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, and X, as always, presented by playalberta.ca.
I'm Gene Principe, bringing season's heatings from Legacy Heating and Cooling. For Yuletide comfort you'll love this Christmas. You should. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. There's no better way to fix your furnace. You just... Call Legacy. They're professional, never rude, Dolph. You should. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. Plus, no interest and no prints of payments for 1 year when you buy with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Doc, are you pulling my beard? Booster Juice has 2 new booster balls for the holidays this year.
That's right, Santa. The Eggnog Booster Ball and Caramel Pecan Pie Booster Ball are 2 new flavors to put some extra jingle in your step. So are you a pie guy, Santa, or a nog guy?
Both!
Good call. That's extra jolly. Happy holidays from your friends at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Black Friday deals continue at The Brick. And until December 11th, you can save big in every department. Save up to $1,000 off sectionals, up to 40% off mattresses, and up to 30% off furniture. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to an extra $300 off select major appliances. It's your last chance for Black Friday deals. See thebrick.com for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
After 20 years, Canada's most prestigious international hockey tournament returns. The Camrose Viking Cup, December 28th to January 4th at Encana Arena. Tickets at vikingcup.ca. Brought to you by Sports 1440.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. It's not lost on me that this radio ad competes with a lot of other dealerships on the air. So what sets us apart? Honesty. At Northgate, we believe in giving you the very best price we can with the most value possible. We aren't giving away free trips or paying off your credit cards, but it is my promise you will get exactly what you paid for every time. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vinny and Donnan have to offer. Visit vimmyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular menu price order when you enter promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. Steve's in at $2,700 on our Culligan package, an absolute bargain. It's early, but it is a bargain today, and you never know. That's why you want to get in, because you never know when you get the bargain. Of course, today we have the monthly giving continuing on, helping out the Christmas Bureau, and it's the Culligan Whole Home Water Treatment System, high efficiency smart water softener. There's a smart reverse osmosis system that gets rid of the forever chemicals and chloramines, the whole organic containment removal system. So you can help, it increases your healthy living from what you ingest to what goes on your clothes, your sheets, what you're sleeping in. Trust me, the heavy metals, chlorine, all the stuff that's in there now, we see it in our water. We see it everywhere. And we're trying to cut down on, because The less you ingest, the better it is for you. So, obviously it's going to impact your dishwasher, your sinks, in the bathrooms, in your washing machine, everywhere in the home. It's fantastic package. It's an absolute bargain right now at $2,700 with Steve. So 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you as we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizzas, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Check it out, Summit Center at Silent Ice. And we are joined by the Hall of Famer, good friend of the show, former NHL head coach Ken Hitchcock joins us. Hitch, how you doing, my man?
Greg, I'm doing well. How about you? How are things in Edmonton?
Hey, things are pretty good. Do you ever get used to, like, it's got to be fun to be called a Hall of Famer?
I kind of find it embarrassing.
Yeah, get out of here. Should be honored. It's a big honor, man. Like, that's, you know what? That's not something you can buy. You got to earn your way in, and by your peers and people that, scrutinize it pretty well. So it's pretty fun. I don't know. I haven't talked to you I don't think I have talked to you. I know we talked before, but like when you went through the whole thing, what was your favorite part of Hall of Fame weekend, looking back on it for you?
When you went to sign the book downstairs, like there was a huge crowd at the presentations, and then you go downstairs and there's a bigger crowd down there that pay to watch you sign the book. And then when I signed the book, when I was signing the book, I looked behind me, and then all of those players that played for me were standing on a podium right behind me. That really choked me up, Griggs.
Okay, well,
I was really shook up. You had Mo, Joe Nieuwendyk, Eddie Belfour, Sergei Zubov. They were all there, and it was that part was Guy Carbonneau. That was really emotional for me.
Well, it should be, man. Like, that brings back great memories. You win a championship with a group, and when you're the coach and the players, there's that unique bond. And man, I've heard all the stories about the thing players respect about Hitch. Man, he'd give it to you, but if you gave it back, he was like, that's okay. It's a give and take relationship. And I think some guys, man, I've heard some funny stories, Brendan Morrow and others, about that time. But you always had a real good sense of humor. Like, you would challenge your guys, but you almost seemed to like it if a guy gave it back to you every now and then.
Yeah, I did it to force a reaction. I did it to try to change the emotion, either on the bench, in the room, to try to change the dial a little bit. Like, once you go down a path where you're not playing well, it gets to be really bland, and then the wins feel like losses, and it gets to be drudgery. So what I did was I tried to tweak it, and whatever came back, I never took it personally. If somebody challenged me, I never took it personally, and there was a lot of times we were able to change the energy on the bench and play at a higher level, and I took pride in doing that. People say, geez, you were demanding. Well, I take that as a sense of pride, Jason, because I was demanding because I really believed in my players. I really believed in the way we played. I believed in the system. I believed in the leadership, but I felt like I could do those things because of my faith in the players that we had on the team. And I felt like that on every team I coached, even when I was in Edmonton, we were a limited hockey club, but man, we maxed out, and I was really proud of that. I was really proud of the way the players dug in and changed some of the games around. And I just think that's the human part of coaching that I really enjoyed the most.
Ken, now this one might be a very difficult question to answer because you coached a lot of great players, lots of Hall of Famers, lots of future Hall of Famers. Were there a player or two that, like, none of the big name guys, you're just like, you know what? Like, I really enjoyed coaching this player. Who and why?
Well, I would say for me, Yuri Lettinen. I don't think I ever coached him. I don't think I said 5 words on how to play to him in the 6 years we were together. I don't think I said a word to him. And obviously Sergei Zubov, same thing. I never asked him, do this, do that, or told him what to do. I just said, can you play more minutes? And he was a guy that could play 25 plus minutes every night. But the one guy that really impressed me that I never knew very much about him, but we got him in a trade when I was coaching in Philadelphia, and he was incredible, and it was Alexei Zamnov.
Oh, skilled.
And he was an amazing player. He saw things on the ice, and he saw things on power play that nobody would even think about. He to me was really an impressive guy.
Okay. Ken, there's lots of talk. We're coming up to the Olympics, and obviously you've been a part of that. And, the selection process is a unique thing because it involves a lot of different opinions. At the end of the day, somebody's got to make the final say. But, a lot of the coaches, assistant coaches, the GMs, there's multiple management team that comes together. And you look at Team Canada's team now, and they, they had a team at Four Nations. It's only a year ago, and they won. So I could say, hey, you know what, we're going to bring it back. Well, obviously you never bring back the whole team. You got some young guys in Celebrini and Bedard right now who are both playing great in the NHL on their respective teams. Would you be surprised if both aren't on the team at this point? Or do you think that, there's a good chance maybe one of them won't be just based on, how the decision makers view, how's this guy going to play? What role is he going to play?
Well, I coached in 4 Olympics, Jason, and the one thing I learned over time is as much as it means to Canada, it means just as much to people in Finland or Sweden or the United States or wherever. So understanding that it means as much to them as it does to us. And I think the other thing we learned is you can add skill to your group, but it has to be hard skill. You cannot win an Olympic gold medal unless your skill is plays hard. If there's a question on how hard he plays or how committed he is, because as it gets closer to the end, the scores are really low, like 2-1, 3-2 games, and they're very close, and hard skill wins every time. And so if Celebrini and Bedard are committed, and as they look like they are right now to me, they can play in any Olympic team. But when you pick your team and you add skill and it's not hard, you're going to have a tough time winning at the end because the price to pay in those final 2 or 3 games is incredible. It's higher than anything you've ever believed in or seen before. And you got to have players that are committed to that. Like you look at us in 2014, we were a dominant team, and we were a dominant team from start to finish. But at the end of the day, we won the gold medal, and we only won 2-0. So, you've got goalies that can win games by themselves, and you need to be committed to go into all the hard areas to win, no matter what your skill level is. And you always see, you have to have different dimensions on any team. You want to win a Stanley Cup, it's very different. You're not going to have, like high-end skill on all 4 lines in a Stanley Cup team, especially in a cap era. It just doesn't work. But, you look at the Olympics and you get certain guys together. And I'm sure, like, Ken, when you look back at those Olympics, like, you left some really good players off some years, right? And that's the reality. I know in 2006, they had admitted in hindsight that we probably kept too many of the veterans from 2002. Like, they didn't bring Sidney Crosby. And that's obviously, I think, a regret. Everybody who's part of that team admits that would have been a mistake. No guarantee if he was on the team means you would have won, but maybe you would have had a better result. And that's kind of where, and that was 4 years later. This is only 1 year later. And, maybe it's easier when you look and say, well, maybe we'll leave off a Travis Konechny or a Seth Jarvis or go down the list of guys because, Celebrini and Bedard are top 5 scorers in the league. And Bedard is he's the better two-way player right now. Bedard's a better shooter, but Celebrini is a better two-way player. How much of a factor does that work for you? And do you need guys like if it comes down to a third or fourth line role, do you need a guy who kills a penalty more than you need a 5-on-5 guy? Or would you rather have the 5-on-5 guy because that's where the majority of the game's played? Well, sorry, the tractor just went by my door. So let's go backwards on that a little bit. In 2000, the 2006 team was a team that was built on loyalty.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is the 2004 World Cup team, that hockey was incredible. that World Cup. And that team was special. That 2004 team was special. And we paid respect to it by bringing back those players. The problem we had was, unbeknownst to us as coaches, that when we came to go to training camp in Toronto, we were going to skate for 2 days. We had a lot of injured players. A lot of those players were injured, and the decision to bring them to Italy was a mistake in the fact that they were banged up and hurt and really could barely play. And so it was a mistake out of loyalty, though, because of the way that 2004 World Cup team played. It was incredible. But like I said before, when you pick a team, you don't need to pick specialists, but you've got to be committed to picking the people that you trust that will play a 200-foot hard game. And if you've got any question on that, then you got to leave the guy off, because that's the only way you win. Is you got to have more committed players on the 200-foot game than the opposition, because that's how close the games are going to be.
Yeah, 100%. Like, they are, like, there's so much skill on the ice. You mentioned it, everybody suddenly, it's funny, like, coaches always talk about, man, I just want to get guys to commit to playing defense. Now, in a short tournament, when it's kind of like in the Stanley Cup Finals, everybody's better. In November and December, not every player is 100% committed to defense, Ken. And I think having coach in all those situations, as much as you'd like it, you kind of understand, because it's wear and tear mentally as much as it physically, and you just can't do it for a 6-month stretch. The Olympics is even different than a Stanley Cup, because it's a single elimination when you get to the playoffs, and then it's a short tournament to say, like, every game matters just to get through the prelim round to want to get a better seed for the playoff round. So is it almost like the Olympic Games, like, well, once you get to the playoffs, it's basically like you approach it as a game 7, right? Like, every quarterfinal, semifinal, final game is virtually a game 7.
Yeah. The thing is that you learn over time is that there are European teams that are so structured and so organized, they're playing the game for 1-0 win. And you've got to battle through that stuff. So I remember we played the Swedes and the Finns, and in 2 games, we never had one odd man rush. And you've got to understand that you've got to do things. You've got to give up the puck to get it back. You've got to play dump and chase when you don't really want to play that, because the opposition has 4 over the top all the time. And a lot of the European teams grow up playing a certain system from day one. So you're playing against players that have played the same way for 10 years. Like, when you played the Czechs, when the Czechs were in their heyday from really 98 to 2002, every kid in the Czech Republic played the same way. They had the same attacks, the same rush attacks, the same design, the same defensive scheme. Every kid from age 12 on knew the way the Czechs played. So you were committed to a team that was on the autopilot, and that's a hard goal. We're trying to get used to each other. We're trying to get to know each other, and they have a system in play that they've been playing for 10 or 12 years.
When you're the coach of an Olympic and you get guys together, Ken, and, because a lot of these guys are first line guys on their team for the most part, right? First line or second line, I guess, at worst. And, they're in all the big moments. Well, now you can't be. And they're all, you got to be an alpha. You got to be an A-type personality. Now, I know you have to check your ego at the door, but did you have to have more conversations or less in those type of situations? Because for a lot of guys, they never had to do it. I'm sure they like it, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's an easy transition. And for guys to go from trying to make an impact in 10 minutes when you're used to making an impact in 20, like, it's a difficult skill set to be able to contribute playing only 10 minutes.
Well, we had that meeting with the team in the off season, and then the captain sold it during the competition. Okay. We never had an issue with that. We never had an issue because everybody understood what the rules were in July when we were organizing. And I guarantee you they've all understood what's going on now because they had that meeting in July. And then the leaders know that it's their job to make sure that it takes place. And I can tell you, in the 3 times that we won gold medals, when I was with them, we never had an issue with that. Guys would play 8 or 10 minutes, and they're used to playing 18 minutes, and there was never an issue. They just wanted to be a part of the team.
Ken Hitchcock joins us, a longtime NHL head coach, of course, Stanley Cup champion, Hall of Famer. Ken, there's lots of people like, oh my God, the ice is a 3 feet shorter and I don't know, like slightly wider, a few inches wider. But the international ice is actually usually shorter than 200 feet. So having coached in, lots of different rinks back when the NHL even had different size arenas, you really think that 3 feet, like how will that impact the game, if any, in your eyes?
It'll force in the neutral zone because they're taking away that distance in the neutral zone. It will force more of a territorial attack, meaning you got to put the puck in to get it back. There won't be the room to make rush attacks plays because I guarantee you some of the European teams will take advantage of it by pulling out early and stringing 4 across the red line. So you're going to have to put the puck in and be prepared to work to get it back. And that's the attitude you got to have, because it doesn't seem like a lot of footage, but it is if it's in the neutral zone, and you're not going to have room to make diagonal plays. So you're going to have to advance the puck north and then put it in to get it back and be prepared to do that all night.
Okay. And so knowing that, would that change your decision on which players you bring?
Yes.
So a guy like here in Edmonton, obviously people like Evan Bouchard in the Stanley Cup playoffs, Ken, is an elite defenseman. He cuts down his giveaways. He plays really aggressive. In the regular season, you know what? He'll have a play like he made last night where it's a little bit of a brain fart. He doesn't seem to have his, energy meter on high at times, but he's shown for 3 consecutive years in the playoffs when the games matter most, he's one of the best defensemen. How do you approach that? As a coach, how do you approach that, knowing he's done it in the big games, but he also, in the regular season, can have some lackluster performances?
I don't think you worry about the lackluster performances in the season because you're playing a few games over a short period of time, and everybody's attention is on high alert. So I don't think you worry about that. You're just looking at what does he do on the top end, and what he does on the top end is very, very elite. Very few people in the world can do what he can do. Very few people see the ice like he sees it and can make plays like that. So to me, if he has an occasional play where there's a brain cramp, who cares? It's what does he do when it's on the line? And he's proven when it's on the line, especially in the last 2 playoff series in the finals, he's done more than anything.
Yeah. Well, so do you think he'll make the team?
I do. Yes.
Okay. Man, I love it. I like your honesty. I appreciate it. He is, because it is, I agree with you. Like, the brain farts in November and December. Yeah, they're frustrating, rightfully so. So as a coach, when you had a player like that, I don't know if you had a guy who, man, could just elevate his game and stay at a really high level when it mattered most. And then maybe in the regular season, like I think of Claude Lemieux at a different position, seemed to be that type of player at times. Did you ever have a player like that? And how did you try to reduce the brain farts during the regular season?
Oh, Greg, it's easy to stay with players when it's going good. It's easy to be their buddy, and it's easy to coach them when things are going good. But the real coaches in the world right now, the ones that are really elite, learn to deal with it when it's not going so great, or they're having off days, or they're not really having an impact in the game. So when you say you trust the players, you have to trust the players, and you've got to trust them through the bad times and the good times. So, a guy makes a mistake, his top end is great, he's come through for you in the past, you got to put him back on the ice. And you got to give him a chance to redeem himself, or you've got to stay with him. And that's the hard part of coaching, is how long can you stay with guys who maybe don't have their A game going, but their A game is there. And that's the big part of coaching. Can you stay with it when things are a little bit rough?
I love that. I'm sure that's something you had to learn over time, or did you recognize that early in your coaching career?
I learned that from a guy named Rob Brown.
Hey, Brownie's a good friend of mine. Hell of a player, and Kamloops for you. Hell of a player.
Well, he taught me. It wasn't spoken, but it wasn't spoken by him. But when I first got to coaching in junior, he drove me crazy because he would do things that were unbelievable. He'd try stuff that was unbelievable, and I used to get really frustrated by it. And then one of the captains came up to me and said, "Why are you ragging on Brownie all the time?" I said, "Well, look, he does this, he does that." He said, "Listen, if he doesn't bother us, he shouldn't bother you. And we like him, and we like him on our team, and we like him when he plays. So if he doesn't bother us, he shouldn't bother you." And it kind of shut me up for about almost 25 years.
Well, and that's what coaching's all about at any level, right? You have to learn, and then you have to recognize that something that you don't like doesn't mean that means it's wrong, right? Is that one of the biggest things of coaching, is accepting that how you see it isn't the only way to see it?
Yeah. Well, the other part of coaching is how does it impact the rest of the group? Like you can't it can't be you versus him. I mean, as a coach, you represent the team, but if the balance of the players like this guy on the ice and they like what this guy does and they're willing to live with his mistakes, or they're willing to live with his creativity, then you need to respect that, because he's playing for them. He's not playing for you. And that's what I learned over time, is that if he's not bothering the players, then he shouldn't bother the coach.
I like that. If he isn't bothering the players, it shouldn't bother the coach or the fans. But let's all know the fans, everybody views it different ways, which makes it great for sports talk radio. As a guy who coached the Olympics 4 times, Ken, I can only imagine you probably, if you don't have a Canadian tattoo, you probably have it. You might get a temporary one for the Olympics. What was your most memorable Olympic moment of the 4?
Oh boy. Well, there was a lot of them. Like, there was a lot of special. Let me run through all 4 just quickly, just to, some funny stories. But
sure.
In 2002, it came right after 9/11, Jason. So there was security. The rink was a 20-minute drive from the village, but it took you an hour and a half to get to the rink, minimum, up to 2 hours, because there was inspections. Your bus had to be inspected to leave the village. It had to be inspected to go into the arena. So if you wanted to have a hockey practice, it would be an hour and 45 minutes to get to the rink.
Wow.
And Pat Quinn, after the second day there, decided, we're not practicing. We're just playing games. We're going to live outside the village, and we're going to meet in the village on the days we need to meet for the game. Other than that, everybody's on their own, and we're not going to practice because it's too much of a hassle. And I saw some of the other teams the players were angry. They were mad because they were having to get on the bus, stay on the bus, be checked over twice from security. And Pat made a great decision. He decided that we're not doing anything. We're staying away from all this. We'll meet at the village, and then we'll go play the game. And I thought that was really an ingenious ploy by him, because the players were refreshed. And as the tournament went on, we got better and better. In 2006, the shock for me was, as we're leaving the village and the competition is over, there's 18 green buses, and they're all convicts. And as the athletes were leaving the village, it was going to become a minimum penitentiary. So the convicts were ready to come into where all the athletes were. And I thought, this is really a unique situation.
Yeah.
And in 2010, the walk over we stayed in a place called Falls Creek, and the walk over, you ran the gauntlet of all the fans. And I've never been told you better win so many times as I was on that walk from there to the rink. Every day you were playing, the fans would be lined up to cheer you, but also tell you, you better win tonight. And then in 2014, you think you're ready to play. We had a lot of returning players in 2014. And we were going to set up a coaches meeting and we were going to go over the systems. And I said, Babs, I don't think we need to do that because on the board were all the systems of play, and the veterans that had played for us in 2010 were showing the 2014 new guys on this is what the coaches expect. They were coaching the teams themselves. And I think with Babs's ability to present, that the players ended up coaching that team almost by themselves. And it was really a good experience to see guys so dialed in so early.
Hitch, always good to catch up with you, man. It's great talking hockey with you. How's your golf game?
Really bad.
Love your honesty. But you're still out there, though, aren't you?
Well, I'm looking at it. I'm thinking I'm going to talk about it now and not do it anymore.
Well, always great to talk hockey with you, man. You're welcome back anytime. Thanks so much. Have a great Christmas.
All right, take care.
There you go. That is Ken Hitchcock. Long-time great advice from Hitch. And, man, we got a lot of, hey, no surprise, got a lot of texts coming in on Hitch's response. Because I'm just going to read this one quickly because I think many people were thinking it. Hey, Gregor, based on hard skill, I'm assuming Hitch would leave Bouchard off of it. Text comes in 8 minutes later. Well, geez, it came through like I didn't think it would. Bouchard's playoff success should have him on the Olympic team, no question. After that answer, well, there you go. That is, it explained why he would have Bouchard on there. He goes, you know what? If it doesn't bother the players, it shouldn't bother the coach. That's a very interesting philosophy. And I wonder how many coaches abide by that. It's phenomenal. We'll take a quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Your New Year's Eve plans just got a major upgrade. On the Rocks is throwing the ultimate party to launch you into the new year with a bang. The legendary Tall Boy is hitting the stage live, providing the soundtrack for an unforgettable night. A 3-course dinner is available to kick things off before the main party starts. This is how you celebrate New Year's Eve. Dinner and a party tickets are available now. Book your spot online at ontherocksyeg.com.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
Every lunchtime, hang with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. Low Tide and Declan Kruger gives you the deep dives, sharp analysis, and Edmonton sports talk done right. Your game, your station, Sports 1440.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and people who suffer brain fog might think it's just going to be part of their life. But listen, I've seen a 38-year-old mom managing a concussion read her kid a bedtime story without losing the plot, all because of cognitive rehab that rewires the brain like a GPS reboot. Your brain isn't broken, it's buffering. One missed beat in focus, memory, or balance snowballs into frustration, falls, or forgotten keys. Stroke, concussion, long COVID, even aging can all lead to brain fog. Cognitive rehab works. Check us out at leadingedgephysio.com before your next "where'd I put my phone" moment. moment.
More Edmonton families than ever are struggling as food prices skyrocket. The Holiday Hamper Foundation provides festive meals for 2,000 homes in need. Your donation ensures a turkey is on the table for every family. Donate today at holidayhamper.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.354, welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely, lovely Wednesday. We got Business of Sport coming up. We're going to get to that. Also, Darren is up to 3,000 on our month of giving package, courtesy of Culligan. You get the, oh man, this is like the grand poobah of water filtration systems for your home. Eliminates all the bad things in your water, helps it taste better, helps it feel better for your clothes, everything. Super healthy for you, and it's currently at $3,000. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. Saving your ward, furniture, mattresses, appliances, and big screen TVs. That's The Brick.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. What was the biggest takeaway from the Oilers' loss last night in overtime for the Buffalo Sabres?
Horrific second period. Just, you get outshot in the first 15 minutes of the second period. You're down 1-0. You get outshot 14-3 when the opposing team had to switch goalies at intermission because Ellis got taken out. And Lyon, they peppered him for a grand total of 3 shots in the first 50 minutes. They got outscored 2-0 and really should have been 3-0. Let's be honest. That Alex Tuck alleged hand pass, what? He has his hand on his stick. He doesn't even move his hand on, but the puck just hits his hand. What are we doing? Like, we just saw this on Brandon Hagel the other game, and I just said it's terrible. What's the league doing? That should have been a goal all day long for Buffalo. They don't even have 3-0 at that point. Right? So, no, the second period was dreadful.
Hey, Buffalo plays good against some tougher competition. That was a little bit for me. And then, that goal, I agree. I don't know what we're doing. We were a league kind of starved for offense, and we're just taking it away. But to not respond after that and let them get right back into it. Like, you got lucky. Let's find a way to answer back, raise the tempo, and they didn't do so. So, a little bit of a disappointment. Great to see them fight back and score those 3 goals in the third period, but some things to work on for sure. Question number 2 for you. In honor of Connor McDavid's goal in the dying seconds last night, what's your favorite buzzer beater in sports?
Go ahead.
It's never going to be Kawhi over the 76ers for me personally. Just the drama, the bounce, the stills from it, the crowd like hands up in the air. And I'll never forget, I was watching with my now in-laws who were not basketball fans, weren't really into it. By the end of the game, they were up and cheering. So it was a memorable moment for me on a bunch of different levels. Kawhi Leonard's buzzer beater, can't beat it.
Yeah, for a recent one, definitely. It's hard to do it. I would look who wasn't it? Nazem Kadri scored in overtime in 2020 with like 0.1 seconds to go in a playoff win. That one was big. And even Ryan, was it Riley Smith? I'm just thinking recent ones for Vegas had a real late one. But like I'm not sure how much of a buzzer beater like it was. Like, buzzer beaters obviously last second. It's hard to do if you're talking hockey, because like a big goal in hockey with a minute to go, it's not necessarily a buzzer beater, right? But it's a minute to go. Would have been like, I don't know. So to me, I guess, does every overtime goal count? Like, is an overtime, because it's sudden death, right? Like the game's over. So I guess then I would go probably the most memorable one I can think of, just because it was so unexpected, was Todd Marchand breakaway goal, 1997. He never scored in a breakaway until the game 7.
That's a good one. Question number 3 for you. With the deal in the majors, Pete Alonso joining the Orioles. When we look at it now, lots to be had, of course, and changes will occur. But who do you think will be leading the way in the AL East, and how do you think the rest of the division looks?
What about the Mets, man? They signed up there and everybody's leaving. So Diaz and Alonso. Well, Tampa Bay, I'm probably going to say, is going to be at the bottom. And Toronto's pitching staff is really good. But it's early, man. It's really early. There's lots of big name free agents still available. And who's going to get who? But it does seem like the AL East is really loading up. So, like, Alonso's a big-time hitter. His numbers have gone down a little bit lately. So, like, is he as good as he was in his prime? I'm not sure. So, I'll say that I'd rather have Dylan Cease at this point. So, I still see the Jays as the team at the top, and probably the Yankees number 2.
I'm with you. Jay, and then, last year, Jays, Yankees tied for top spot. I'm hoping, with the addition of Cease and kind of what they went through last year, helps them. Jays first, Yankees second. I'll still take the Red Sox third, Orioles fourth, and then Tampa Bay Rays sitting in the 5 seed. But things can change, as you mentioned. Question number 4 for you. In honor of Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard, how long do you think a standard hug should last?
It's a good question, Cons. I read up one. I read a lot. I read in a book once that they talked about how a hug, for it to really be a connection, like with your spouse or your kids, 20 seconds.
Really?
And it really, and you know what? I've tried it, and it does, like, when you kind of really focus in on that hug in 20 seconds, it's different. Now, you're not obviously having 20-second goodbye to everybody in your house. If somebody's, holding on a little bit longer than 3 or 4, it's sometimes maybe weird. It depends, though. Like, what's the hug, right? If I'm at a hug of a funeral, well, usually it's going longer, right? It's a hug of a longtime friend I haven't seen in a while. Going a little bit longer. If it's just hey, how you doing? A quick hug. You see your buddy that you saw last week. It's probably a quick in and out. Good, hug, pat on the back. 2.5.
I am with you. Like, it does vary situation to situation. I think for most hugs, if it goes longer than like 3 seconds, I'm trying to pull away. Sometimes you handshake someone and they hold on a little long, and you kind of like, why are we holding this for so long? I feel like hugs are kind of that way. If it goes too long, it gets a little bit weird. So for me, I'm just going to say standard 3 seconds, and then you got to pull away. But different situations are situational. Final question. Celebrity chef Bobby Flay celebrates his 61st birthday. In honor of that, if you could have any chef cook you a meal, who would you pick?
Go ahead.
I'm going to probably go with Giada De Laurentiis. I had, back in the day, a girlfriend who was a big fan of her cooking show, and she cooks Italian. So nothing beats a nice pasta dish. So I'm going to go with Giada. And it's in Vegas, so I could probably actually go do this.
I'll be honest. I don't know one famous chef. Like, on one of those big, I don't watch any of the reality shows, so I couldn't name a chef.
Wolfgang Puck
for you. Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay.
Well, I've heard it. Yeah. Gordon Ramsay, I have no time for. I watch how that guy, give me a break.
Guy Fieri.
Dick. You know what? I'll go with Guy Fieri simply for the frosted tips. Yeah.
He's a personality. I like, is it Emerald? Can you say boom a lot or something?
I don't know.
Jamie Oliver?
Yeah. Honestly, like I said, I'm not. Oliver is the one guy I think on the internet that always has like the funny lines that he messes up. So that guy might be funny. Right? What was it they said about your grandma? If your grandma was a bike, would you have wheels?
Yeah. Hilarious line.
Some
anger when he said that too.
Oh, it is funny. It is funny. 402 when we come back, Rich Winter, the business of sport, and more. We'll update you on the month of giving. We've got to get our package from Culligan up here. We're not even at half point to retail value. This is an unreal package. Darren has it at 3,000. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can text us. Let's get to the comment and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC, and the Wish and Win event is on right now. Stop in, your chance to win $25,000 off sale price of your new vehicle. Automatic, guaranteed to save $500 right now at Northgate GM.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
4 games tonight on the ice, the NHL level. Rangers in Chicago, Flames hosting Wings, Black Panthers taking on the Mammoth, and you got the Kraken up against the LA Kings. In the association, 2 games in the NBA Cup quarterfinals, getting going in an hour and a half. The Thunder host the Suns. Then at 8 o'clock, Spurs taking on the LA Lakers. Toronto Blue Jays have selected right-hander pitcher Spencer Miles from the San Francisco Giants with the 27th pick in the Rule 5 draft. And the AG got Devin taking on Calgary. That one gets going just after 7. And University of Michigan head football coach Jerome Moore has been terminated with cause effective immediately after an investigation. It was found that Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. Wolverines will play the Texas Longhorns in the Citrus Bowl on New Year's Eve. Coming up, we got another edition of the Business of Sport with longtime NHL player agent Rich Winter. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
At GS Construction, we focus on building a culture of collaboration, innovation, and respect. Our teams work together, supporting one another and striving towards shared goals. We're committed to creating a work environment that empowers individuals, values teamwork, and ensures everyone feels respected and safe. With decades of experience in the field, GS Construction prioritizes our people, our culture, and safety. This is what makes us unique. To find out more, go to gsconstruction.ca.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offer a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca.
Supporting the battle against cancer. So lots to be
all day and order oodlenoodle.ca.
Stop. 3 o'clock. How you doing? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley.
Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit, no credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780-all-7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
The future of female hockey is here. It's season 2 of the Female Super League, the first ever female-only independent hockey division in Western Canada, with teams from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Featuring 16U, 14U, and 12U divisions, the FSL brings showcase weekends packed with thrilling games, and our 14U and 16U have been pioneering the advanced body-checking rule, empowering young players. The Female Super League, where the best in female hockey takes center ice. Details at femalesuperleague.com.
I'm Rick Showers from Noble RV. People often ask me, hey, Rick, do people actually buy RVs from Noble in the fall?
Fair question, Rick. Why would you want to buy an RV just when it's time to put it away in storage for the winter?
And I have the answer, Bob, because the RVs at Noble are used, And that means every RV on our lot is a one of a kind. So when you're looking for a used RV, you can be really picky.
One of a kind means you don't have to compromise on what you're looking for.
That's right, Bob. But it also means when you find the right one, you grab it up before someone else does. Sometimes that's in the fall, but No Bull makes it easy because when you buy your used RV now, we include winterization and winter storage for free. We even get it prepared for spring camping at no charge to you. All you need to do is be ready for the great outdoors come next spring. When you think of it that way, the fall might be the best time to get your RV.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio, from weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
What a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you, Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. You can always text us, 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. The Gregor Show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. You can get in the game. When you're there, you make a $50 deposit. Use the Gregor code 50, Gregor50, and they'll match your $50. So 2 for 1. And then if you want, try one of our daily odds boost specials. We're going with goals tonight. Rangers, Hawks over 5.5. Florida, Mammoth over 5.5. A little parlay action, and you get an odds boost. So you can check it out at playalberta.ca. Also, we are halfway through our Wednesday edition of the month of giving. Off to a good start. We're at $3,000 on our Culligan package. This is an unreal home water treatment system for your home. Comes with a high-efficiency smart water softener, the smart reverse osmosis system, and the whole home organic contaminant removal system. You can say goodbye to dry skin, dingy laundry, scale buildup throughout your home. You would enjoy pure water free from heavy metals, chlorine, pharmaceuticals, the forever chemicals, and more. It'll taste better. It'll feel better. Got it in my house. I can attest to it. It is fantastic. And right now, Darren has an absolute steal at $3,000. So let's get this up. It's for the Christmas Bureau, right? 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. This is something you use it every day, right? You drink, you wash, use it every day. You know what? If you can afford it, it's something that's very important for you. You will not regret it. And we had people asking for some of our farm people. I have a cistern. Does it work there? Yes, 100%. Make that even better. So if you have well water, they can adjust it so it works with that, because everybody knows that well water is a little bit different than the city water. So either way, they got a system that will work, whether you're in the city, acreage, farm. They'll make it work for you. 833-401-1440. As it's time now for the business of sport, as we go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. Take action on your savings. Solar, commercial, residential, they do it all. ActionElectrical.net. As we welcome in Rich Winter to the show. Rich, how you doing?
Great. Spent the day in Calgary yesterday. It's +5. Apparently different weather than we have here. So
+5, buddy. It's only going to be -33 tomorrow night. It's quick.
Looking forward to parking the car outside.
Yeah. That's, it's always a good test. Let's just see how good our vehicle is, right? So we've got to do.
It's funny because we don't put the plug in anymore.
You don't use your block heater anymore.
No, it's somewhere in the back of the car there in the box, but I've never really used it.
It's because now you're suave. You've got a heated garage. You don't need it, right? You only go from the heated garage to the underground parkades that you park in, right?
Well, we don't have we got into a small building now, so for the first time in a while, we are parking outside at work. So, but that's what the remote starts for,
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, hey, there you go. It's all
Yeah,
good.
you know,
So you're gonna test it in the remote start just to
I'll
see
give it
how
a
long
whirl
it takes
tomorrow.
to
Yeah,
heat up.
tomorrow.
Right?
Yeah,
You ever
see.
scrape your windows, or you just wait till it defrosts?
Yeah, you do a 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Early. There's a thing in there just in case, but I don't like to use that if I don't have to.
Okay. Nice. I like it. Now, today, what I love about the business of sport is we like to talk about a lot of different businesses in sport. And today, we're going to talk to a former player who created his own business really to help future players. As Josh Healy is the founder of Sports Aux, O-U-X, kind of short for auxiliary, but Sports Aux.
AUX.
AUX. Yeah. What did I say? OUX?
You said OUX.
Oh, yeah. No, AUX. He's from Edmonton. He played in the AJHL. Then he got a scholarship at Ohio State University, had a degree in finance. Then he went on to sign with the Calgary Flames and spent 7 years in their organization. And he founded Sports Aux. And why? We'll find out right now. Josh, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Hey, doing pretty good. Thanks for having me.
So you had a degree in finance, so I'm guessing had a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit automatically. So that part of it came natural. Hockey was something you loved. So tell me tell our listeners the basis of Sports Aux.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is when a player and their families or their parents are trying to decide where to play, whether that be, an academy now or somewhere, junior college, there's just no credible resource to go to that actually can give them that information. So I had this struggle when I was going through the AJHL, trying to get a scholarship, and kind of it all comes at once. You go from no teams or agents reaching out to you to like, oh man, I got 5 or 6 to choose from, and they're all salesmen. They're going to tell you kind of everything you want to hear, you need to hear. And at the end of the day, and at that time, there was just no resource you could utilize to make an informed decision. So Rich and I actually have got connected. So Rich, thanks for helping me get on the show here with Jason. But through my experiences, just want to create a platform to help players and their families get recruited, and then also help recruiters, whether that be scouts in the NHL or college scouts or junior scouts, be able to track and discover these players and then directly connect with them as well.
Gosh, it's not just colleges that you're tracking. It's also agents, right? So you're getting verified, confidential information from players that they're sharing on this site so that you get an objective view of what's actually going on. And I think that's really, really valuable.
Yeah. So I think one thing I'll touch on is just kind of how credible these reviews are. So we basically take a player's like hockey history and we cross-reference the years played with the coaches on staff during those seasons. So I can't go leave a review on Coach Knob because I've never been coached by him, right? But I can go leave a review on some of my old Ohio State coaches or professional coaches. So now you as a player or a parent, when you're on the platform, you're like, okay, this isn't just like a Google review. Anyone can log in, or any angry parent can go leave a good or bad review. This is now a player that's actually been coached by this player. So it's just that much more credible. And as Rich mentioned, it also is agents, and we've extended that to now staff members and teams. So you can get the whole big picture from equipment managers, athletic trainers, coaches, agents. And then on the flip side too, agents cannot leave reviews, but coaches and staff members can actually leave reviews on players to help, recruiters get another look at, okay, well, this guy's helping out unloading bags or, picking up after himself in the room. And it's just another way a recruiter can use, our site to help recruit them and basically find the behind the scenes action that they really don't get information on.
So how does somebody has to, I would assume, register on the site, Josh? So like if you're a player and you're like, yeah, you know what, I really hated Coach Bob, so here's my chance to really get back at him because he didn't play me for my 3 years, right? And now I'm not saying that there's people like that automatically, but there might be someone, right? Some people scorned. It's easy. Like if you look at a lot of reviews, some people would rather complain than bitch, but you want to have more of an honest one. So if somebody leaves a review that you're like, I'm not sure, do you reach out to them to check on, like to verify that something like that happened?
So we're pretty careful about what we do post and what we do post. Like anything sort of like straight like defamatory or like, this guy's like an effing idiot or something along those lines, like that won't get put onto our platform. If it's informative, where it's actual reasons as to why this coach is good or is not good, and actually can help you kind of make a more informed decision, then we kind of, we'll accept or reject them on, as they come in on that front.
What if you get a review that's rather harsh, but is true? How do you approach it?
Again, it kind of comes down to how, I guess, it's worded and kind of the context of that. Like if it's something that involves like, physical, mental, or sexual abuse, like that's something we're going to, pass on to the authorities in some way, shape, or form to start an investigation. But if it's more so like, this coach doesn't come prepared, not detailed, not professional, kind of leaves his players like hung out to dry, and it's kind of carving him as a coach or her as a coach, then we're definitely going to post that, because you kind of want to know the environment you're walking into as a player or a parent, right? So an example I can kind of give, and this is on the Sports Sox. A few years ago, there was a coach at Michigan Tech. There's probably about 7 or 8 reviews where it basically just said, in any way, shape, or form, don't play for this guy for reasons X, Y, and Z. And nothing really happened with that. And then I think it was a few years later, there was like a Twitter recording where he like threatened one of the players, told him to like kick his teeth in or something like that. And I think now he's no longer with the program. They have Billy McCult there, which is great. But that's like one example where like I was getting recruited by Michigan Tech at the same time. So like I had no idea this was happening. And again, there's tons of players, not just one review, like from one player. And like me as a player and my parents would have no idea I'm walking into that environment. So for me at the time, it was just luck. And for a lot of players right now, it is just luck as to where you end up. But having the Sports Sox is just that resource. You can double check or say, I kind of heard this. What are other players saying? And to your point, there might be one or two players that aren't happy with their ice time or whatever else. But at the end of the day, the truth's going to come to light. If you're a good coach and you push players, there's going to be enough reviews that say, go play for this guy, I'll run through a wall for this guy. Even if there's a couple that are saying he didn't play me or whatever else they're unhappy about.
Yeah. Do you find Josh Healy joins us? How many years, Josh, have you had this?
We launched in 2018.
Okay. So it's coming up on 7 years. So now I'm assuming you have a much larger database, right? You mentioned it's, the women's games are growing. Now, is this only for hockey? Have they talked about doing this for other sports?
So the goal is to go for other sports as well. Right now, just because of who I am, my path in hockey, it's what I know, and where I can kind of build this thing from the base up. So we do want to kind of get hockey right, figure out what works, what doesn't work, talk to our users and see what they like and don't like, and then expand to other sports, because it's definitely not just a hockey issue. If you have, abuse or environments you want to know about, it's every level of sport. So yeah, definitely have goals to expand to others.
Have you noticed now, because especially in college hockey, the portal, it opens up and what you offer becomes more valuable, because it's basically free agency every offseason right now. And it's unrestricted free agency in the college world is really what it is every year. I don't think it's great personally. I think there's lots of reasons. And, even with WHL now being able to go play NCAA, and some kids maybe think, oh, geez, I should leave at 18 or 19. Like, do you find with all these changes in the last year or two that your business model is even more important than it was back even in 2018?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for a lot of companies, you kind of look at like the timing and like there's kind of a bit of a perfect storm that has to happen for it to really hit. And I think this rule change with the NCAA and major junior kids being able to go play there is kind of our perfect storm, where now it's like just that much more uncertainty and that many more teams reaching out to you, and that many, more options you have as a player, or your families have, to make those decisions. So having a resource like the Sports Sox, which is kind of that centralized platform, like I mentioned, to help players get recruited, but also help these recruiters find these players and track these players and organize them. Because now, I've talked to some college coaches and they're maybe not recruiting the junior A leagues as much, but it's still 60 teams in the CHL that they're coming after, in addition to the USHL, and then, obviously overseas a bit. But yeah, I definitely think it's very, very prevalent now that it's needed, and we're here to help.
So is Todd still got a higher rating than I do still? My partner, Todd, we're still fighting about that. He's always announcing he's the highest rated agent in our company on Sports Sox. So I think he's got a couple of points on me. How do I fix that?
Yeah, you gotta get a couple more players on there to leave your review.
So you have agent ratings, you have coaches ratings. Have anybody asked to say, for player ratings?
We do have player ratings as well. We're not making that like as readily available to find like in a feed. It'll be part of our main feed, but essentially it's like going to be on each player's profile. So if Rich is interested in recruiting a kid, he finds him in a rink, says, I want to learn more about him. He now can go to the Sports Ox. And if there is reviews that have been left by those past coaches, staff members, athletic trainers, whoever it might be, he now has more context of who that player is off the ice and if it's someone he wants to recruit or represent.
Well, which would be the 10-year-olds, I'm learning, because one of my associates out east talked to a 13-year-old father last week. And
a father of a 13-year-old.
Yeah, and he had he's had an agent for 2 years. And he says that the recruiting is now aggressively happening in Quebec and the Maritimes at 11.
Well, that's beyond idiotic in my own.
So insane. In Sweden, there's a 16-year-old. You can't talk to anybody.
Well, nor should you. Like,
it's just
ridiculous.
Insane.
It's you're putting. It's hard enough. Your brain's not fully developed. The last thing the kid at 11, 12, 13 needs is being worried about something like that. It's just let them dream about playing the NHL. Let them dream about it. Great. That's awesome. But you don't need to have someone tell
I think
you
it's really important at 11 to start getting the endorsement deals them down, get your branding profile out there. And, it's just insane. I don't even know what I would talk to. I mean, I know I talk to an 11-year-old about. It's my grandson, but I don't know what I talk to him about in business.
Not going to be about that at all. So Josh, as the evolution of something like, so when you started obviously with your background in finance and obviously playing college hockey and playing in the US, like sports in general, you can, sometimes hey, I've seen it firsthand, from coaches, guys who stayed in there, and, Hockey Canada turned a blind eye to guys, and not even just on the sexual abuse stuff, just coaches who are complete meatheads and how they berated players and different things like that. And it's always, oh yeah, I'm challenging him. Like, no, you can challenge someone, no problem. I have no problem with challenging players, but you don't have to berate them. There's a very different way to go about it. How have you seen maybe the changes in 7 years from how people respond to Sports Ox from first when it started? Because I'm assuming not many people knew about it, like any company when you first start. And now you're 7 years later. When you think back to your finance and business degree, how is it evolving as a business?
Yeah, I think it kind of comes back to that perfect storm. Like, obviously allegations and stuff came out with the Chicago Blackhawks kind of like, a few years back. And like, there's all these things that have happened that haven't really seen light. And, I was very fortunate, and I've been very fortunate that I was never in a situation where, it was abusive in any way, shape, or form. But I know that there's players I played with that, obviously weren't so fortunate. So for me, I'm coming at it from this perspective. Like, I want to help these players get recruited, help the, coaches and agents find these players. But there's a parallel road there, right? Where I could have, been in that situation where now it's like, I want to help these players who were in a tough environment, in some sort of abuse. And I also can help them get recruited if they weren't in that situation. So it's definitely come a long way. A lot of support, a lot of players reaching out saying, I needed this when I played junior. A lot of players saying, thank God, you made this, I need this now. And I've actually had guys come up to me at AHL camps and been like, hey man, thanks for making the app. Like I switched agents. I found him on the Sports Ox, and now I ended up here. So it gave me this opportunity. And that even surprised me, to be honest. But it's kind of rewarding in a sense because, you're creating opportunity for these players and you're putting them in an environment where they now know what they're walking into. And if I can help players and parents and families in that situation, then that's great for me. So
just go to the App Store to get the sport. How do you get the app?
Yeah, we're on Android and iOS, the Sports Ox, AUX. It just says the Sports Ox is a star, so you should be able to find it there. And then we are also on a website, so just thesportsox.com, and that's just AUX.com. And it's totally free right now. Just get on there. If you're a player, verify your profile, gain access to all these recruitment features. And then again, if you're just a fan too, there's lots on there you can check out.
How does how do they verify themselves as a player?
So when you click log in, you'll enter in your name, and then you can actually sign up as a player, or if you're a staff member or an agent or a coach, there's a different option you select. And essentially you find your profile that we already have data on. You submit like a photo verification saying, this is me, this is the profile I'm applying for, essentially. Comes to our back end. We say, yeah, this matches up with the information, birth year, birth date, name, all that stuff. And then we accept it on our end. And once we accept it, then a player, for example, who was coached by Coach Knob or maybe selects Rich as an agent, he now can go and leave these anonymous reviews, and it's all, made sure that it's legitimate and it's the right person who's actually got access to this account.
Okay. And this is for parents, right? Lots of parents, if you're in the AJHL right now and you're contemplating going to college, if you're in the WHL and you're looking for college, heck, if you're in the AJHL, WHL, BCHL, there's lots of different options for them. Is it mainly North America?
We're totally global. So we're like, Sweden, like we have like over 1 million players in our database right now. So like I said, those players can get on and then gain access to their account. They can directly message other players, coaches, agents, staff who are also verified. So it's kind of like a LinkedIn meets Ray My Professor would be the best way to kind of describe it for kids and parents.
Is there a minimum age for a player? Like, is there a minimum age? Like, you're not having 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, obviously not. Like, when can a player register?
Yeah, no, for sure. Right now we have data that comes back to kind of like the Bantam AAA age range. So like if you were to make the brick tournament, we would have your stats for like when you're 10, but essentially it's kind of like that 13, 14-year-old range. And I mean, like for us, we're pretty careful with the data we release or what we show, what we don't show, because at the end of the day too, like that's a key time, right? It's not just 18 and up. It's also when you're 13 or 14 or 15 and you're trying to figure out where to send your kid to school or which program. So we want to make that accessible as well for those parents and those players.
Well, Josh, continued success with the Sports Aux. We're just on the website. It looks great. It's very simple. The Sports Aux, AUX.com. You got the home, the dashboard, the reviews, opportunity for families. If they have a kid who's in the elite category, I think maybe get up there in age and you're thinking, hey, this is somewhere where I want to go. Now, parents don't access it other than like they can read the reviews with their son or daughter. Is that how it works?
Yeah. So if you're a parent, like if you played, you're a former player, you would have like a player profile on there. So you can even go check that out, even if you're long retired. But if you're just a parent now, yeah, for sure. You can go on there, see all the reviews, see all the stats, see all the team information. We're getting live scores and data from the NHL kind of down to the lower level leagues, which we'll be releasing at some point here soon. So it'll kind of be like the one-stop shop for hockey if you're just looking for highlights, stats, or you want to try and get recruited.
Well, and if anybody picks up Rick Wested's new book, We Breed Lions, if there was ever more important app than this after reading that book, wow. It was the most eye-opening book I've ever read on some of the things that are happening hockey at various levels.
Yeah.
There isn't a mother in the world that would let her kid.
Father, hey, dad. I don't think dads are open to wanting their kid get abused. Let's be
but
clarifying that.
But I have to tell you, it's like I was horrified. Like I could hardly function yesterday after feeding it. I've been around the sport for a long time and we hear about the Hockey Canada thing. You can't even imagine. If you're a parent, your kid's 12 or 13, you don't pick up that book. It's parental suicide. You got to pick up that book. You got to see what's going on because at least you have to know so that you can ask the questions, get the answers you need. And ideally, I'm going to put Rick and Josh in touch with each other so we can get some of those people referred to in Rick's book sharing that information. Now, I think it's changing. There's some really good things happening in Peterborough with the Petes. They brought in a psychologist of some sort, played Australian rugby, and he's helping them. And it's actually turning to be a real positive. They're getting some real healthy dialogue about wokeness and how to respect women and how to treat them and when it means not consent and when it is consent and some of these things. And that positive energy is really, they went on a huge run last year and they credit a lot of it to the healthy environment they're creating. So there's some positive things happening, but man, oh man, you gotta, if your kid's playing hockey and you have an NHL dream, you read that book and then you try and hopefully between Rick and Josh and others, we'll get enough information that you will be able to avoid that place that is, like many of them will continue to be what they have been. Others are going to change and hopefully be able to find those as well.
Well, I think even just, you have a dream of college or junior hockey or minor pro at anything. It's just even just going to college. You want a good experience in junior. Josh, you mentioned that you were lucky you never had a real, negative experience, but I'm sure, probably since you started this app, you've probably read a lot of experiences that open your eyes a little bit about just because there is some real awful situations that go on. And well,
Awful.
Oh, you know what? Oh, it's, hazing for all different levels. Obviously, the sexual abuse is the high end worst, of course, but there's lots of mental abuse and physical abuse and hazing and different things.
We're so focused on the sexual, we don't even get to the emotional abuse.
Yeah.
And I an older player from Hockey Canada, I just happened to bump into the other day, and she said the same. I mean, I hadn't met her. I was just dropping something off to the office there, and she said, "What you hear from everybody." Well, it's like everywhere else. Well, the fact is, when you analyze, study after study analyzes sporting figures, and those who play physical sports like football, rugby, and hockey, there's that energy and that physicality. Athletes in university, not just in the junior level, athletes consist of about 19% of the university population. They commit over 75% of the rapes.
Yeah.
Like, pay attention, man, because your kid could be going into that environment. Don't be naive. This is life-changing in a way you don't want your kid to ever experience.
And Josh, like when you started, I don't know if that's kind of, I want to kind of to go full circle. When you thought about this, was that the main objective when you started this to give people better resources? Hey, I want to make a right choice about a good coach or a bad coach. But when you start to read some of the stories you probably read over the last 7 years, has it turned out to be maybe bigger than what you initially thought it could or would be?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, like I said, for me, it was just kind of like helping a player get noticed by a school or by a team that, they want to play for. But now it's like all these things come to light, and we're in kind of a different age where technology has given us the ability, for news to travel very quickly and for things to come to light, and now, have that accountability kind of take place. So yeah, definitely, it's bigger than what I imagined it to be, but at the same time, I think it's much needed. And I go back to that kind of perfect storm thing of, hockey with CHL and NCAA kind of changing their rules, and then a few, pretty big lawsuits or legal issues that came to light. And it's kind of coming full circle, as you mentioned, where we can hit a lot of different avenues with just this one platform, which is exciting to see.
Josh, continued success with this. We really appreciate it. For those listening, it's thesportaux.com. Thanks so much. Continued success.
Appreciate that.
Take
Thanks
care,
for having me on.
The sports plural, SportsAux, AUX for those. We got a lot of people texting in. It's just very simple. The sports AUX, aux, short for auxiliary. So the SportsAux.com. We'll take a quick break. We'll return on the Business Sports and the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you: Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Bring in the new year with a Canadian country legend. December 31st, in concert at the Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Brett Kissel. She drives me crazy. With special guests Haley Benedict and Morgan Clyburn. Bring your friends, your cowboy boots, and your party spirit for a night full of hits, celebration, and unforgettable memories. Hosted by Chris Sheets. The countdown to 2026 starts with Brett Kissel live on stage. Get your tickets now at silenticecenter.com/events.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
the longest-running basketball show in Canada, airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 15% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off a $150 service until December 13th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Picture this. You're sleeping and you're awake. But it's a good day because you're about to make your way to McDonald's to pick up some breakfast. Fast forward, you're there. But what's this? You can now get all those breakfast classics penny style with rich, creamy hollandaise-style sauce. A happy little tear rolls down your cheek. You grab your small McCafe premium roast coffee. Still just $1 plus tax every day. And see. Get up and at 'em with the Egg McMuffin. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Your New Year's Eve plans just got a major upgrade. On the Rocks is throwing the ultimate party to launch you into the new year with a bang. The legendary Tallboy is hitting the stage live, providing the soundtrack for an unforgettable night. A 3-course dinner is available to kick things off before the main party starts. This is how you celebrate New Year's Eve. Dinner and a party tickets are available now. Book your spot online at ontherocksYEG.com.
And what can I get for you this year, little fella? I want a new Ford F-150 with the FX4 package.
Adults need toys to play with on Christmas morning, too. And Nisku Ford has the best toys in town. If you decide to wrap one up, you can get rebates as high as $10,000 or choose interest rates as low as 0%.
This Christmas, get the toy you really want.
Add Nisku Ford to your holiday visits or make your wish list at niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
Black Friday deals continue at The Brick. And until December 11th, you can save big in every department. Save up to $1,000 off sectionals, up to 40% off mattresses, and up to 30% off furniture. Plus, buy more, save more, up to an extra $300 off select major appliances. Don't wait for the crowds. It's your last chance for Black Friday deals. See thebrick.com for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play, score, and win every game. See more at ontherocksyeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on. Jason Gregor, Rich Winter, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. As always, brought to you by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca. Get the app, download it. Easier, quicker, very safe. You can use the Gregor Show odds boost, daily specials. Check it out. We got an NHL and an NBA one up today. OKC Thunder. We expect them to win, but can the Knicks cover 14.5? It's kind of crazy, but honestly, like that's not the Knicks, but the Suns. The Suns only lost by 4, which is that's a badge of honor right now in the NBA. The OKC Thunder are 23-1, and their only loss was actually 121-119 in a game they had like a 25+ point lead at one point, which is wild. So I'm sure we should be 24-0, but they are pretty good. We got a lot of texts coming in. People wondering about the book. It's called We Breed Lions from Rick Westhead. The website we just talked to Josh about, the Sports Ox. And, it is, Rich, it's funny how you're like, man, I read the book and my eyes are just like, I couldn't believe some of the stuff. And I think it's really in ways how our society, they want people to ignore the real things that matter. Mm-hmm. And then we talk about the things that get blown in your face all the time and, politics and stuff or whatever. And a lot of them don't really, I'm not going to raise taxes. Okay, great. Everybody's taxes, like name a time your taxes haven't gone up. But that's like somehow something people really care to vote on when it really doesn't matter. But, when are they making changes to laws about sexual abuse and how can we govern it? The coaches, like I'm a coach and I'm at Pee Wee hockey now, U13, and it's at an age where, like, hey, for me, morally, like there's certain things like phones definitely aren't allowed in a room, right? I want kids to communicate more, but hey, I know adults do look at stupid things on their phone. You don't think
Yeah.
kids who are curious, or, young
Oh,
boys,
gosh.
frontal lobe isn't developed, isn't going to
I don't think they know how to spell porn
yeah,
something.
well, exactly. So it's there's responsibilities to do that, and there's people that have continually, like, you read these horror stories, and but you know what, they're able to manipulate their way in and in and in, and people, but you know what, geez, I don't want to say anything because my little Johnny or my little Jill, it might stop them from. No, it won't. It will never stop them from making progress.
What parents don't understand is the way the algorithms work. It's why it's the algorithms that have divided society. Because what happens is the algorithms feed into the negativity that drives you. So if you're a conservative or a liberal, it just feeds you with bad this guy about the conservative, and it's bad this guy about the liberal. So when these kids start watching something inappropriate, it feeds that for them. It's basically will instantly addict them. I'm telling you, I don't know how much influence I'll have over my kids and their grandchildren. I would not finance a kid having a phone with access to the internet. I would not have a computer in my home that didn't have every single adult site blocked. I wouldn't let my kid see that until he left his home. There's no need for it. There's nothing there. But these algorithms are built to get you addicted to shopping, to drinking, to porn, to ideas that are completely inappropriate, that are feeding some crazy thing you heard of and kind of explored on the internet. And if there's any message, you read that book, and then you get your kids. Don't give them a phone unless my kids so far they have their own Apple Watches, but they can just call. It's like they now have a phone.
Well,
that's it.
If we went back, like if the phone was, I want to get a hold of my kids, great. Just don't give them a walking computer. Just go back to a flip phone that's just for a phone. It would be great. And if everybody did it, then it wouldn't be a problem. I think there's Australia, they're banning all social media for kids under 16. And, if it works somewhere, eventually someone's going to do it.
Well,
but just going back to sports, though, in general, in sports where, a bad coach isn't somebody who yelled at your child once because they weren't working. Right now, it depends on what they yelled at them. But they said, hey, Bobby, work harder. Guess what? That's life, right? You're going to have a boss one day that says, show up on time. Like, that's what you need to do. That's where sports can help you in a lot of ways.
You can love your child. You can love your player. And doesn't mean being soft. It means sometimes it means being firm. Sometimes every personality is different. Some need a wake-up call. If it can be handled appropriately, that's doing what a good coach should do. It's the next level. That's a killer.
Yeah. Well, and if most of us, when we see something it's the old adage, when your spidey sense goes off, and learning to listen to yourself is the hardest thing, right? And when your inner gut tells you it's wrong, that's where you got to speak up. Now, it's hard. It's very difficult to do, but we're almost training the society to do the opposite way. Oh, well, I'm not really sure. I don't know how to listen to myself anymore. They did whole studies on, people now running where what's your most important thing when you're running? Your sight and your sound, right? You should be able to hear and see things. But now we all run with headphones on because it's better. But you're not aware of your surroundings nearly as much around you for different reasons. You're running, you don't hear someone coming up on a bike behind you. There's a car all of a sudden speeding that shouldn't be at a crosswalk. Like, there's lots of different things. And that's just in general. But I look at it. So in the sporting realm of it, when you look at all the changes and you're trying to influence players at a young age, like, you're not just, you've talked about lots of, I don't just work with players to get contracts. That's one element. Obviously, that's the main one. But there's the other factor. How have you as an agent had to change to try to service the players better? Because some of them might have come from an environment where that's not important. And then you have to say no, that, know when you are being taken advantage of to when you're just being challenged. There's a difference.
Well, it's tough for us as agents because we're not there very much. Like, whether we like it or not, I will be calling the NHLPA tomorrow after reading this book. Like, it has to start at the top, and it's about the culture, right? It's about creating the culture. And so that's the responsibility of the business owner, because that's what they are in junior hockey. They're business owners. They're trading for profits. The business owner has to create the environment because, we're not there. We can support. I told this, PA did a thing a while back where they brought the agents together and on some virtual calls and were helping us try and understand what mental health symptoms were. I said, well, that's great, but it's like, we're not there. you got to focus on the coaching. You got to change the culture. And once people understand the Phil Jackson culture, we had that love segment a number of months ago. Phil Jackson, Coach Wooden, Steve Kerr, Coach K, they all run a very supportive, loving, tough, demanding program that makes better men. And that's what we need more of. It's not going to happen at the agent level, but I do things like I sat down with a player today and we're working on, in Calgary, we're working on his social media. So we're looking at his branding, and he's volunteering already. He's fallen in love with special needs kids and the Special Olympics. Been doing since he's a teenager. He's from the Maritimes, and he's getting married to a fisherman's daughter, and trying to bring out what is his persona, what is going to be his image. And the good news about his image, it's extremely good, and it's natural. He's not faking it, but trying to introduce them to things valuable. I remember it's as small as. Remember when Dominik Hasek, and he wanted to get involved in the community. I mentioned to him a couple of ideas, and he started an inner city hockey program. And he wasn't sure it was going to be a good idea or not, so he gave his equipment money. At the time, it was $30,000-$40,000 a year. To these kids that couldn't afford laces, let alone skates. He started to develop as players. So he'd go and he'd see, geez, little Jason, the kid is like, he's only skating for 6 weeks, man. And he fell in love with it. And then eventually he wrote $1 million check out of his pocket, his own pocket, to fund it. He phoned me, he said, I found it in perpetuity. He said, Rich, you know what that means? I don't know what that means. He was so excited to learn that new word, but he did fund it for life, and it changed his whole perspective. He still comes back, 20 years later, 3-4 times a year to be with the kids. And he called me a while back, and there's a couple of different calls. One was, kids won. They won a real game, man. Like, what do you mean? Like your kids? They saw the kids in the Buffalo program. They were in a real tournament. They won a game. It was awesome. And then he talks more regularly now of some of the kids that are off to college because they came out of this inner city program. So you try and direct them to things, because ultimately at the end of the day, it's a great poem written about the 1800s, a vision of Sir Lanfall. It's not what we give, it's what we share.
Mm-hmm.
For the gift without the giver is bare. He who gives of himself feeds three, himself, his hungry neighbor, and me. And so you try and introduce them these things, because the real joy in life comes from serving and helping others. And sometimes I always remember George Rock. Like George would go, he'd get a call to the office. I need 185 pictures. What do you need it for now, George? Well, I just went to this school. I said, so, okay, so there's 105 kids. Okay, so you need to call the principal though, because I need every single kid's name. I always remember George, so he would to Jason, to Rich, George, and he'd be signing like 200 of these pictures in the evening. And he just said, I know that that's not always be the case, but these young kids are going to get this picture, and I'm going to make them happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you can help, that's a little bit on the road to more sensible focused. You can help with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this kid today is just he's just amazing. He's a big power forward, and he's not quite George Rock, but he's big, he's strong, he skates. He's going to be a terrific player. He's, his biggest passion in life is, like taking, he loves to go see these special needs kids. And he's learned, like a lot of us, that they are special. Like they teach you a lot.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So if we can get Dom exposed to that, and Giordano did a bunch of stuff, and they get connected, you can help them understand that their celebrity has a real value to them that they don't understand. The value is the gift that you give and participate in is what will make you, that'll be one of the more positive experiences you'll have in life.
Well, I think you're not going to change every kid's path, but if you change one or two, it makes a huge difference.
Well,
right?
Then the beauty of the one or two is that he also influences hundreds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sheldon Surrey had a big influence on the Native community, right? And so many of the other kids that came off of the reserve, the Ethan Bears. So the kid from the inner city comes out, and they believe it's possible, right? Like that's why I think you have so many NHL players, kids playing, because they believe it's possible. Why do they believe it's possible? Well, my dad did it. He can't skate that well, so they kind of believe. And so if we can create more connections in a positive way, but this is the NHL and the NHLPA and the owner's responsibility. It is not, it's nice that Dominik Hasek did what he did. It's nice that Giordano does. It's nice. It's great that Zach Hyman does all the stuff he does. But it's like I've had this conversation with Mike Babcock, who is by all accounts not always the most appropriate example. But I said it's like, how easy would it be the coach to create a culture where every kid is taking a course? Why are we taking this course, coach? We're all required to take a course at university. Why are we doing that? Well, it makes you sharper, makes you play better, makes your focus different. And like Mike agreed that that cultural change and shift would educate players, help them prepare for careers after hockey, would sharpen their minds, would help them play better. Why isn't an NHL owner doing that? NHL players admire their owners. The PA under Goodenhow used to say, well, they're all, criminals and they're stealing from us and they're making all kinds of money. But the reality is every single player on virtually every single team want to do and be in partnership, have a closer relationship with their owner because all the success the owners have had. Exceptions, there's some wacky owners, but at the end of the day, how do you not cultivate that?
Well, I look at sports and you see the massive chasm now. Like the players are making so much, they're not relatable to the average person anymore.
Well, and they hide them now. Like in the old days, you used to be able to stand outside the arena in Montreal, the old Forum, and you get like autographs. Kids didn't know they could go. Now it's like they go right into the dungeon. No one sees them. They're isolated from it all. It's not great. And they lose touch with the people that that pay their bills.
Like you look at what, I know that I don't want to hear about what the Oilers in the 80s did. Well, they won, but they also had a mandate. Every player on the team had to be connected with a local charity.
Yeah.
That was non-negotiable, right?
Yeah.
And so imagine if every player today had a similar thing. They have social media platforms that have thousands and thousands of followers, right? And if they were able to do that, and the player shows up, and guess what? The team doesn't have to send their social media team every damn time because that ruins the natural, just human element of it.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be filmed. People know they're doing it. Don't do it to
but
say
even better,
what we're
like,
doing, but you could actually have stronger connections to the community. The players, when things are going wrong or things are going well, like you've seen lots of players that talk about it, man. You know what? These kids, at the end of the day, I was just Bob. I wasn't Bob, Bob Beers anymore. I was just Bob, or I have a nickname. And to those kids, they were just like, after a while, I was like, yeah, he's a hockey player, but he plays mini sticks with me when I'm sick or other things. And I find it helps the player's mental state. It helps the community, and the Oilers do less of it now than ever before.
But think of the examples within the Oiler realm. I don't know, I can't remember the child's name that, recently the young man with cancer that sort of inspired Connor and a whole bunch
Ben
of
Stelter.
So think about the impact that young man has had on that dressing room. Think about the impact Joey Moss had on that dressing room.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so many opportunities. There's a similar young man working with the Dodgers now. And it's like, that's the example of all the opportunities there are. And I remember, strange as it sounds, my uncle chaired the two largest gatherings of world leaders in world history, the last being the Earth Summit that he chaired. 150 world leaders sat with him in a room, and he addressed them on the environment because he started the environmental movement for the planet. But what he said to me at lunch one time, and we were having lunch with Robert McNamara, who's the Secretary of Defense under Kennedy, former president of Ford Motor Company. I used to hang out with Morris because he met a lot of cool people. They said to me, Rich, we were just thinking, Morris sat with 150 world leaders. And if you would have connected him with Michael Jordan and a few other athletes and got them to sell the environmental message to their fans, way more impact. So their message to me was, don't screw up what you have. Through your clients, you have the ability to influence a lot of people. And if the owners understood that, relied on it, they could create an environment where every fan in any sport is going to want their players, their kids, to know more about hockey. That's the way to sell this game because they're generally pretty good guys, right?
Yeah.
But you need to guide them. They're pretty good guys that go down into the dungeon. They don't see fans anymore. There's some of them are going out to the, whatever charity dinner. But when I saw Dom, when you see like the excitement in Dom's face and his voice, like here's a guy, 6 Vezina trophies, 2 MVPs, Hall of Famer, and his excitement when those little kids won a game against some real people, as you call them, real players. I mean, to give up for an owner to create those environments, working with agents, you will change the community in ways that you couldn't imagine. But it starts at the top.
Yeah, no, it's very true. Rich, have yourself an awesome week. We will chat with you next Wednesday.
Well, probably not, as you know, it's going to be minus 40, and it's going to be tough. But
next Wednesday, minus 40? No, I don't. Better not.
And hopefully next weekend. No, next week we're going to have the Dodgers president Stan Kasten on. He promised me to take a look at his schedule. He was busy with the World Meet, but it's interesting because we'll learn if we can get Stan. We'll get him on next couple of weeks. But he, in addition to doing a decent job with his little baseball team, he was one of the guiding lights under the Professional Women's Hockey League that he partnered with. The Dodgers partnered with Billie Jean King on. So lots of interesting stuff with the PWHL coming to town in I think about 3-4 weeks they're having a game here.
Yes, and we got the big women's game tonight, rivalry series Canada-US tonight in Edmonton. For those that are going,
Probably
be a heck of a game.
probably be dirtier, more like these
Oh,
women.
they play hard, man. It's great. And like they legitimately don't like each other. That's what's so great about it. It's a really good rivalry.
There's a lot of passion out there.
Yeah, it's a really good rivalry, as it should be, right? As it should be. Canada-US rivalry should always be heated, in my opinion. Rich, thanks for this, man. We appreciate it. That's Rich Winter joins us every Wednesday here in the Business of Sport. We'll take a quick break in the final hour. We got to pump things up a little bit in our month of giving, brought to you by Culligan. We'll get to that. But first, let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by meals.loca.ca. Every fresh, chef-crafted gourmet meal is handcrafted from scratch with fresh ingredients and arrives at your door fully cooked and ready to heat, eat, and repeat. Meals.loca.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Shell, you got the Red Wings and the Flames. Blackhawks host the Rangers. Panthers taking on the Mammoth and the Kings in Seattle. In the Association NBA Cup quarterfinals, Thunder up against the Suns, and the Spurs take on the Lakers. In the AG, got Devon and Calgary, puck drop at 7. And game 3 of the rivalry series is Canada taking on the United States at Rogers Place, puck drop at 7 as well. The Toronto Blue Jays selected right-hander Spencer Miles from the San Francisco Giants at the 27th pick in Wednesday's Rule 5 draft. And first baseman Pete Alonso and the Baltimore Orioles finalizing a 5-year, $155 million contract. University of Michigan head coach Ron Moore has been terminated with cause effective immediately following a university investigation. Evidence was found that Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. The Wolverines will play Texas in the Citrus Bowl on New Year's Eve. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Now for today's holiday special, Legacy Heating and Cooling saves Christmas. Santa's furnace broke down in the shop last night, and the elves couldn't make any toys, that's right, so Santa called up his pals at Legacy Heating. Ho, 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 golly gee, 1 year, no payments, interest-free, and the elves are working merrily with a brand new furnace from Legacy. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Black Friday deals continue at The Brick. And until December 11th, you can save big in every department. Save up to $1,000 off sectionals, up to 40% off mattresses, and up to 30% off furniture. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to an extra $300 off select major appliances. It's your last chance for Black Friday deals. See thebrick.com for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
Get ready, Edmonton. Glow Christmas Festival returns to light up the Edmonton Expo Center from December 4th to 31st with dazzling activities for the entire family. Wander the glowing trails, meet Santa in his sleigh, and shop from over 30 local artisans and vendors with handcrafted gifts and holiday treasures perfect for everyone on your list. Get your tickets and learn more about what's on this season by visiting the calendar of events at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Hockey talent from across the globe is coming to Camrose. The Viking Cup returns for the first time in nearly 20 years, December 28th to January 3rd at the Encana Arena. Witness this elite competition between teams from Canada, the USA, and Europe. See the speed, skill, and intensity of world-class hockey right at home. Fully bet packages are on sale now with adult and student pricing.
What a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. Welcome back.
VikingCup.ca.
Alberta.
Hey everybody, it's Chief Principe and Jason Stredler. Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera,
40.ca
leading
is
from
up.
Los Angeles and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Puckberger, Ron Lowe, Jack Michaels, Louis DeBrusque, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one hell of a trip. Price start at just $23.99. Part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
The Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise, July 2026. Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Book now and save $500 per cabin when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. That's cast.tours/Edmonton.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation, two weekly podcasts with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger breaking down the green and gold. The most in-depth AA football coverage on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts, elksnation.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.503. Welcome back, Gregor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Wednesday afternoon. If you missed Ken Hitchcock, I definitely think you want to listen to that later on in the anywhere where you get your pod. You can go to jasongregor.com, individual interviews there. Also, Josh Ely, the Sports Ox. Think something very worthwhile for anybody who's got a player going through to junior ranks or potentially college, pro, and more. Very interesting stuff there. Sports Ox AUX. Now, what's interesting is, hey, it's final hour. Good month. We've had a really good start, a month of giving. A little bit slow today. So, you know what? It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And we have an unbelievable package. We're not even close to retail value. So let's get it up or somebody's going to get a real good deal today. And want to raise money for the Christmas Bureau. It's the number one thing. And we try to get things that, you know what, it's not just an impulse buy. This is something that's going to last for a long time. It's for something you use every day and will use every day because it's a requirement. It's a necessity to survive as a human being. Water. We need to drink it. It's just that simple. Can't deny it. You need water. Now we use it for cleaning, drying, everything else. Well, the Culligan water treatment, it is the high efficiency smart water softener, the smart reverse osmosis system with forever chemicals and chloramines, and the home organic containment removal system. So you're going to enjoy pure water free from heavy metals, chlorine, pharmaceuticals, and other forever chemicals. Healthy living starts with the best possible water, and that's what we can get today. And Darren has it right now at a steal at $3,000. So we got about 50 minutes left. You want in? 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. It's is a great package. So let's get it up to help out the Christmas Bureau today on a Wednesday afternoon. Our show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. $80 million Friday. Lotto Max. Get your tickets. $80 million. Good luck. Woo. Minus 25. Oof, man, $80 million. Going a lot of holidays out of the snow. That would be nice. Let's get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction. If you're looking for a job change, and more importantly, a career change, that's what they have at GS. They look for people who want careers, not just a job opportunity, always for growth. They're growing. They always love promoting from within. You can apply today at GS Construction. Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, how you doing?
Doing all right, man. How's it going?
Well, it's going pretty good. I had a really good conversation with Ken Hitchcock.
I heard that.
Yeah, fascinating. He was like, hey, man, if it's me, I'm picking the team. And that guy was involved in 4 Olympics. He goes, I'm picking Evan Bouchard because I don't worry about the lackadaisical plays. I worry about all the great plays when the games are on the line, and he's shown he can do it. And of course, as you'd expect, a lot of people texting, "Oh my God, that's crazy, that's brutal." And just for fun, just for people to know, when Cale Makar and Colorado won the Stanley Cup, Cale Makar played 395 minutes at 5-on-5, and he outscored the opponents 26-22. Right, he was +4. Evan Bouchard, the 2 years the Oilers went to the Cup final, in 24, he played 479 minutes, outscored the opponents 30-15. So he played almost 100 minutes more, was on for 7 fewer goals, if you claim that he gives up too much. Then last year, 27 goals for, 20 against, played 423 minutes. So that's 57 goals for, 35 against at 5-on-5, which is a 59% goal share, if you believe. So those gives up too much. Not in the playoffs, he doesn't. And guess what? Gave up less than Makar ever did in playing more minutes. So I can see why Hitchcock comes up with the strategy that he believes in. I'm taking the guy at his best. I'm not evaluating him on his worst.
Well, I mean, that's, stats. Those stats don't lie. Every one of us who watches Evan Bouchard play has seen his work in the playoffs and what a valuable player he is. The place that I go to is that series against Vancouver, where it really set up as him versus Quinn Hughes. And when it was over, there wasn't a person on either team or in either building who had told you who the better defenseman was or argued about it. It was Evan Bouchard. But I guess what I'd say to you is all that great play raises expectations of Evan Bouchard's game. Like, I watch him. I've been to every one of those games. I've seen his best work, and I admire it, and I've written it and complimented him a million times. But I guess it's just, Jay, somehow it's just become okay now. Games like last night. It's
he'll be great in 3 months. It's not okay. I think it's okay to talk about it. I wrote it. I said, hey, Evan Bouchard's a great puck handler, right? And everybody's going to make giveaways, but you can't make that giveaway 3 feet from your net that goes right in your net 3 seconds later. Just like those giveaways can happen. If it happens once a year, it happens once a year. It hasn't been once a year. And so you can analyze it and say that's a terrible play. I don't think anybody disagrees that it's a terrible play in the moment, and he's got to be way better. Now, if I'm looking at that, but does that play limit me from saying, well, that erases his high-end game when in the playoffs, he doesn't make that play? He's never, like, I'm trying to think in the last 3 years in the playoffs, did Bouchard have a glaring error that you can think of? Because I can list 15 without even thinking in the regular season. I don't even have to think. And so that's where, I think Hitchcock was saying, hey, you know what? When you're in a tournament like this and it's best on best and you want guys who can elevate their game, well, he's proven it. He can do that.
Well, he can certainly elevate his game. There's no question. Hey, listen, I guess it just comes down to a projection. Is this just more is this more of the same? Do we a rock solid, locked in certainty that this is just regular season Bouchard and playoff Bouchard is going to be awesome as he usually is? I mean, history tells us that's how it works. So I guess if you're going to project that way, I would tell you that there is something to the fact it is audition time for that team right now. Every guy in the league is auditioning for that team. I guess you could say his audition ended when the Stanley Cup ended last year, and October and November and December aren't going to count. But you know what the reality is? They do count.
Oh, no. Hey,
they do count.
Do I think Evan Bouchard is hurting his chances, Spec, with a play like last night? Yes, because people have a bias, and recency bias is a proven scientific thing. Mm-hmm. It is. And so people can't just say, yeah, but he's good in the playoffs. No, you can say both things. He's great in the playoffs and he can make plays like last night, and he still makes them too often. A play like last night, if it happened even once every 20 games, you'd live with, but it hasn't been that, right? If it was 4 times a year, you'd be like, you know what? 4 times a year, whatever, right? Like, hey, Connor McDavid made a terrible read in overtime too. Let's call a spade here, right? That was a terrible read by McDavid. He's the guy in front of the net, and he just left the front of the net wide open for no reason. They didn't have the puck because he was anticipating. He thought they were getting the puck, and he jumped the play, and that's what caused Tuck to be wide open. So the difference is, the rest of the game he was unreal, and people are less hesitant to want to rip on McDavid because as a forward, some of your mistakes when it's a bad pass and it's a gift in the offensive zone, it doesn't end up in the net 2 seconds later, right? That's the advantage being a forward on a giveaway compared to a defenseman on a giveaway.
Yeah, listen, all these things are true. It's all fair. I guess and I'm known to be tough on Bouchard, and I'm only ever tough on him because I know how good he can be. We're not this tough on guys we're not this tough on the Embersons of the world who are third pairing defensemen right now, or defensemen in their careers. This guy's he's the first genuine number one defenseman this franchise has had probably since Pronger, and there isn't 32 genuine number one defenseman in the league right now. There never is. He's one of them, and Edmonton has him, and they're wise to sign him. And anyone who ever said you should trade him, I think is insane. I guess I expect a guy who plays somewhere closer to that level all year long. Because right now, I know there's a lot of guys out there with shot share and goal share are gonna say this and they're gonna say that. But his October and November have been just barely okay. And he's a leader on this team now. He's the highest paid defenseman. He's the number one defenseman. He is a veteran. He should be leading. And there's been a lot of games this season where I'm here to tell you, defensively, he's not leading, and he could be better than this. And I know he would agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. Hey, Bouchard, I'm sorry. Like last night, it wasn't just Bouchard, but that was one play. The Oilers' second period as a team was horrific against a team on the second half of a back-to-back. Sure. The Oilers still haven't won 3 games in a row this year. And you know who they lost to in the 5? So the Oilers have had 4 games where they had won 2 in a row. So they have a chance to win 3 in a row. And they lost to the Islanders, Seattle, Columbus, and Buffalo. Not top teams. They couldn't beat those teams to get to 3 wins in a row. And that is a perfect illustration for me of how inconsistent they've been as a team. They've yet to find traction by winning minimum 3 games in a row. Calgary Flames, for God's sakes, have won 3 games in a row. Right? Go down the list of Vancouver's won 3 games in a row. The Oilers have yet to do it.
That's it. And there's a lot of reasons for it. It's certainly not one guy. It's not one. No one's saying it's one guy, and it's not the goalie either. Listen, they were flat last night. They gave you 20 minutes of hockey last night. And it just goes to show you how if they played, and I want to say this, Jay, they got a couple unbelievable breaks in that game where it never would have gone to overtime. Ekholm is icing, and I'm here to tell you that hand pass disallowed goal is garbage. That is a goal all day, every season that I've been alive, and all of a sudden it's not a goal anymore. So the Oilers got a million breaks in that game and still lost in overtime. Hey, move on. You got a point. You got lucky. Go beat Detroit, and we'll forget all about it.
Well, not if you keep doing it. I won't. Like, to me, that's the challenge with the Oilers is they've yet to have a real consistent stretch. They've had good games, but they play well, lost. Play well, lost. But you know what? You've yet to win 3 in a row because sometimes you'll win a game when you don't play well. Like last night would have been the game. But at the second left, you're like, okay, they should win this game in overtime now, right? Yeah. And then you say, guess what? Here's a game. We didn't play very well, but we won. You'll always take that over. Oh, we played well and lost. Because they just, the Minnesota games are great. They actually played really well. They lost 1-0.
The 3 best guys went out in overtime and blew it, right?
Yeah.
They're 3 best guys who have won a million overtime games. Bouchard loses that battle to Tuck, and they never get the puck. Like, he beats Tuck to that puck by 2 strides, and he loses the puck, and he never gets it back. And then the 3 of them, you're telling me it's McDavid. I'm watching Bouchard checking nobody. Dreisaitl's kind of off to the side. I guess whoever it is, if maybe
he was closer to the puck carrier, so that was his.
So he's got the puck carrier. I don't know who Bouchard had, and obviously McDavid had the wrong guy. But my point would be, it starts with Bouchard's turnover, and the 3 best guys get it wrong, and you lose. And you go the way your best players go. And McDavid got him there. McDavid got him to overtime. But listen, inconsistency, we've watched it. We've talked about it. You're right. You got to win more than 2 in a row if you think you're going to get anywhere. And I don't know if they got it in them here. Let's see what they got.
Oilers, now Janmark was not skating today, but I'm told it was a maintenance day, and he's expected to play tomorrow. But the order is that right now they've got 12 healthy forwards and 6 healthy defensemen. They're going on a 5-game road trip. So expect Wallman to be moved to LTIR retroactive to the last game. So he'd be eligible to return to the lineup after the first 2 games of the road trip. And he's not ready to play on the weekend anyway, so you put him to LTIR. I would expect
the defenseman that comes up.
I think it might be Josh Brown, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my now. The guy doesn't mean like you're calling up the defenseman doesn't mean he's going to play, but I think it would be Josh Brown. And I'm curious about. I think the forward has a better chance to play potentially than the D-man. We'll see. But, if somebody gets nicked up, then obviously the defenseman's going to play. But I think I think we might see Lane Hudson. Not Lane Hudson, sorry, but Hudson. Quinn Hudson. Yes.
Yeah, like I want to say, you might say to yourself that Ike Howard is a better prospect. They're going to be a better player, whatever. I wouldn't call Ike Howard up. I think he's, by what I'm watching here on the game summaries, he's finding a footing. He's getting comfortable down there. He's playing pretty well by the sounds of it in Bakersfield. I haven't watched him play, but it looks like he's getting some stuff done there. I wouldn't bring him up. I would leave Ike Howard down there for a little while longer at least. I kind of only want to call Ike Howard up one more time, Jay. I don't want to call him up, send him down. Call him up, send him down. I don't want to do that with Ike Howard. I'll do that with Quinn Hudson, sure. So, yeah, Hudson's been playing really, really well. He deserves a shot. Let's give him some NHL money and maybe get him in a game. Who knows? I'd call him up for sure.
Yeah, I think, Howard had a great start. He had 6 points in his first 3 games. Now he has 3 points in his last 5 games. And points aren't everything, of course. But no. I'd have no problem a young guy down there just staying down there because there's no guarantee if you call him up that the guy's going to play a ton anyway. But, Quinn Hudson, who's got 13 goals in 21 games, 24 points. He's a +7. He's got a lot of shots. He's played really well for that team, talking to guys down there. And so, you reward the guy and he gets a call up and away you go. It's obviously probably going to be a short term. But who knows? With the injury bug, man, every time you think they're going to have to recall a guy, you never know. So it might last multiple weeks at this point.
Well, I'm not having Troy Stetcher is a thing now. That was he's a pretty good safety net, man. It's your 7th guy, Troy Stetcher. Now he's in Toronto playing 22 minutes a night. I just heard the guys on the Overdrive on TSN. They're saying, how can Edmonton part with this guy? Are they not that good? How can they not keep Troy Stetcher? And I'm thinking maybe it just tells you how bad the Leafs are. But either way, Stetcher's really playing great there. And I'll tell you right now, Knobloch and his coaching staff would love to, instead of calling up Josh Brown, they'd rather be putting Troy Stetcher in the lineup.
Well, sure, right? But again, it's only the 7th guy only matters when you need the 7th guy. Otherwise, he's just sitting there, right? So good for Troy Stetcher. He's getting in and he's getting to play some minutes and kind of illustrates, no offense, but how bad the rest of their blue line is. Troy Stetcher on a Stanley Cup contending team was the number 6/7 defenseman, right? Yes. Now he's on Toronto's defense. He's playing 22 minutes a night. Kind of tells you about what Toronto's defense is.
Yeah, that's they got injuries too. But still.
But I like Stetcher, great for him. The guy's highly, highly competitive player. Yep. And, I'm not surprised by it. He plays with a chip on his shoulder all the time. And I've talked to Troy about it. He's got the permanent scowl on his face when he plays, which is great. And that's he is a player who has to give you everything he has every shift. Otherwise, he's not successful. And so when he comes into a new team, I think some guys are like, oh my God, look at this guy, because that's how he has to play all the time.
Yeah, you know what? There's more guys like we watch. Daryl Sutter was a guy. They say of Daryl Sutter, when you played for Daryl, the one thing you never did in the pregame warmup is stop and chat with your buddy on the other team. He said, if you did that, man, you were in Daryl's doghouse and he was sour. You were supposed to not like the other team and not hang with the other team and catch up with your buddies like they all do now. You know what? I like a guy like Troy Stetcher that plays a little pissed off all the time. I got no problem with that at all. I can think of some guys that'd be better players if they did the same thing.
Yeah, no, there's definitely no debate on that, Mark Spector. Jones, and here's the other thing, Spec, about Bouchard. Bouchard for the last 15 games played really well. Was probably the most consistent player. So that's why I'm like, hey, one mistake, and it's a big mistake, and everybody goes crazy about it, but he's been a lot more consistent than 90% of probably 98% of the rest of their players. And so that's why, because when he has a good stretch, no one applauds Bouchard as much as they criticize him on one mistake. I don't
buy that. I don't buy that. We when
You think
first
you
of all,
applaud Bouchard on good games as much as you applaud him on a terrible
absolutely.
giveaway?
Yes, when he gets 3 points, when he plays, during the playoffs. Are you kidding me? Yes, we do. I mean, listen. First of all, 2 things. It's not just that giveaway to Tage Thompson. It's the giveaway to Tuck. It's the giveaway in overtime that's not just big. It's massive giveaway in overtime. Okay, massive. So there's 2 goals that you can pin on them, and that's in a 4-3 game. That's a lot of goals. So I'm not. Sure, that Tage Thompson goal. That's an outlier. I mean, he doesn't make that play. Come on, very often. How often? Like a guy just gives you the puck in front of the net. That's not something. That's just an outlier. But I'll tell you what, he gets lots and lots of praise when he plays well. I won't say that we only talk about Bouchard when he plays bad. That is recency bias because he's had a lot of bad games in the first 30 of the year.
That's true.
That's what we've been talking about.
That is true. The one last one for the orders. How concerned are you about Mangiapane?
Oh, huge concern. Like this was Washington, the bad year he had in Washington. Was that just a one-off? I thought to myself, hey, he went out east. He had a rough year. He wasn't very good. He's going to come back out west where he's more comfortable. He's been here his whole career. He's going to really be hungry to prove that he's the same guy that was really good for Calgary. And that's the guy Edmonton is going to get. That's what I would have predicted. But we're 30 games in, and he's the Washington Mangiapane. There is he is not any kind of pest. He hasn't put a glove in anyone's face. He's barely hitting anybody. Nobody's sick and tired of seeing him in his face or playing against him the way we watched when he was in Calgary. He was a pain in the rear end. You hated playing against him. So if you take that element out of Mangiapane's game, all you have is a little guy who plays on the perimeter and doesn't score much. And that's what the Oilers have for 2 years if he doesn't change. Absolutely disappointed in the performance of Mangiapane. He has done squat here, and it better get better or he's going to be in the press box when the games count.
Dude, he's got literally 1 shot a game. Got 31 shots in 30 games. And he's played a lot of minutes with Draisaitl and McDavid at times. That to me, I'm just like, oh my God, it is. No. That's a major concern. Like that signing. To me, he looks exactly like Arvidsson. Small, doesn't win a lot of battles, and falls lots. That's what I see.
Yeah. I mean, I can't disagree there. Arvidsson was 34. This guy's supposed to be in his prime. No, very disappointed. Very, very disappointed in what I've seen from Mangiapane. Like the heat's going to get turned up in this city on this guy after a little while here. Like Fredericks had his turn under the spotlight. And I'm not sure how much better it's getting for him either. But you know what? That's a couple of tough signings this summer so far. Not turning out great, Mangiapane and Frederick right now.
That's very true. Hasn't been special. Spec, have yourself a great day. We'll chat with you tomorrow.
Thanks, Jay.
It's Mark Spector. The Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Hey, let's up. We're into the final half hour. Only a $3,000 save for our month of giving package from Colligan. This is absolute steal. It's the high efficiency smart water softener, the smart reverse osmosis system, and the whole home organic contaminant removal system. Right? Heavy metals, chlorine, pharmaceuticals, forever chemicals. They got it all. It's going to make your water safe and better. You can text in your bid, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. It's only a $3,000 with Darren here on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Think your credit's not good enough for a new ride? Think again. Go Auto's car loan calculator is here to help. No commitments, no credit hits, just real answers. You tell us a few things, and we'll show you what you can afford. Text credit to 780-777-7777. That's credit to 780 all sevens. Go Auto. We do the math. so you can do the driving.
More Edmonton families than ever are struggling as food prices skyrocket. The Holiday Hamper Foundation provides festive meals for 2,000 homes in need. Your donation ensures a turkey is on the table for every family. Donate today at holidayhamper.ca.
Picture this. You're sleeping and you're awake, but it's a good day because you're about to make your way to McDonald's to pick up some breakfast. Fast forward, you're there. But what's this? You can now get all those breakfast classics penny style with rich, creamy hollandaise-style sauce. A happy little tear rolls down your cheek. You grab your small McCafe premium roast coffee, still just $1 plus tax every day. And see. Get up and at 'em with the Egg McMuffin. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Born from work, built for play. Carhartt's all-new Super Ducks Tech Jackets are built for hard-working people who can't sacrifice mobility for durability. This ultra-tough gear fights off wind, snow, and cold, while full-swing technology flexes with every move and still packs 3M insulation for maximum warmth. Try your new Carhartt Super Ducks at Jobsite Workwear. 3 locations in Edmonton and online at jobsiteworkwear.ca.
Jobsite Workwear, tough different jobs.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder. With over $2 million raised for local charities and his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site service? Rain or shine, Japa Service Department is here for you. Get a quote now at japamachinery.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:29. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Doug comes in at 3,100. Bob was at 32, and now Giancarlo is at $3,500. So, hey, little pump it up. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you. Of course, Oilers day off today. They did skate. They had 11 forwards on the ice. Janmark had a maintenance day. Then Trent Frederick took an errant puck that was deflected right in the chops. He was leaking pretty good behind the net. Went directly off the ice. I think he'll be fine, but it might be a little less pretty for the short period of time. Only 6 defensemen. Wallman's still not skating. He's not going to play. I expect Jake Wallman probably, will be placed on LTIR here soon, just so the Oilers can call up some players when they head out on the 5-game road trip. So that's what I think you're going to see happen. I guess that transaction could come as I guess if Janmark or Frederick are that banged up, they can't go. But unless like it broke something bad on Frederick, he'll probably be good to go. And then Janmark was told it was only a maintenance day, so they should be fine. But if not, move Wallman on LTR, right away and recall someone up to play tomorrow. But either way, expect some recalls coming up for the upcoming road trip. Should be good. Now let's get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. Any vehicle, any brand, they have it. Over 15,000 vehicles to choose from right now. GoAuto.ca. Great place. Vehicle. As we welcome in from Oilers Nation. Oilers Nation today, Tyler Yaremchuk. Ty, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Greg's. Disappointing night last night. 2-1-1 so far on the road trip. So the Detroit game is gonna kind of be the swing game for if you view this homestand positively or not, eh?
Oh, yeah. If they lose tomorrow, man, to a team playing third game in 4 nights, second half of a back-to-back, like there's what's called scheduling wins. Every team gets them, right? You don't have them as much in the playoffs because they have all good teams, but everybody's basically playing the same schedule. You get a break maybe if you win your series early and get a little bit of rest. But other than that, it's not like, oh, we're playing a team now that they play their third game in 4 days and we're resting. Just doesn't happen in the playoffs. In the regular season, it happens all the time in the NHL. On the sixth, like look at Winnipeg, 6th game in 9 days. They were dead tired and the Oilers crushed them, right? And so Detroit, they played well in Vancouver. Who knows how they'll play tonight? All right, sounds like it would get John Gibson and Cam Talbot's going tonight for the Red Wings. So you look and say, hey, it's their third game in 4 nights, second of a back-to-back. You got to beat them.
Yeah, totally. And that's almost what makes the, first 40 minutes of that game against Buffalo all the more frustrating from an Oilers perspective is, Buffalo played the night before in Calgary. They gave up, I know it was a couple empty netters, but they gave up 5 goals and then 2 empty netters on top of that. Like they were ripe for the picking in those first 40 minutes. And the Oilers, or I don't know, maybe they're rattled they weren't in their cream jerseys and all their good luck was gone or whatever. But those first 40 minutes, like inexcusable to have that kind of an effort when you should have been feeling pretty confident and you had a team who, again, should have been pretty tired. Like that first period should have been dominated by the Oilers. And I was really surprised to see how they came out.
Yeah, well, they should have done. The second period to me was the worst. You have a new goalie coming in and you get outshot 14-3, outscored 2-0, and really outscored 3-0. Like, I'm sorry, that's 2 goals now. They took away the goal in Tampa Bay where Hagel just put his hands up to protect himself. And then last night, Tuck his hands on his he's not even looking, and a touch. Like, give me a break. That is not what a hand pass is. A hand pass to me is when you move it purposely with your hand to the guy, right? Like that. That's a joke rule that needs to be changed because those are 2 goals that should not be called off.
I'm with you 100%. And I tweeted it yesterday, and I know some Oilers fans didn't love it because it was a call that went the Oilers' way. But I was like, we've lost the plot with reviews here. Like, what are we doing? The Hagel goal was a borderline hand pass, if you want to call it that. And then the goal doesn't get scored for 13 seconds. And someone said, well, this is all in response to, I guess there was a William Karlsson goal a few years ago in the playoffs where the hand pass led directly to it. And that's why we're reviewing this. But like, I think it's just ridiculous that these hand passes can be reviewed. And then it's funny, like think about how many offside goals we've seen come back because the player's skate was, just a hair, just an inch. And then you have these hand pass goals where you kind of got to squint and be like, oh yeah, maybe he did touch it with his hand. And then again, not that you would want an Oilers goal taken off the board, but the McDavid goal to open up the third period was blatantly icing. That was icing by, I think it was Hyman who was racing in there. He lost that race by 2 strides. Ekholm's 4 feet away from the blue line. But somehow that's not a goal we can challenge. We can call back a goal for being a hair offside, but we can't challenge like a blatant icing 5 seconds before the goal. The review thing is just so backwards right now in the NHL. I can't stand it.
Yeah, no, it is true. Some of the things I asked Speck about, like when Roslovic and Kapanen come in the lineup now, and I know that might mean someone else is hurt, but the way he's playing, Andrew Mangiapane might find himself in the press box.
Yeah. Absolutely. I heard you and Spec talking at the end there, so I looked into it. Mangiapane has more games this year with no shots on net than he does games with more than 1 shot on net this year. He's had more than 1 shot on net in only 8 of his 30. And like what's frustrating about watching him play is like go back to the beginning of the year when he scored those 2 goals right off the shoot. I mean, even the goal or the non-goal against Seattle from last week where he walks in and it's just a laser of a shot. And it was unlucky that it didn't go in and it bounced all sorts of crazy directions. But like Andrew Mangiapane has a good shot. Why he isn't more willing to use it, especially when he's up with McDavid and Draisaitl, or when he was up with McDavid and Draisaitl, that's what drives me bonkers here. I mean, the other side of it is lack of physicality. He's a perimeter player. Liam and I like to laugh. Edmonton, it's the easiest market in the world to be a fan favorite. If you skate hard, hit guys, and get in guys' faces after the whistle, this fan base will live with a lot of other mistakes and a lot of other deficiencies in your game. And to have a guy like Mangiapane come in here should have been beyond fired up his first month and a half, 2 months in a new team, back with a Canadian, back in a Canadian market. He should have been doing all that stuff. He isn't doing any of it. He's not shooting the puck. I agree with you. He'd be out of the lineup. I don't even see much of a case when everyone's healthy to have Connor Clattenburg sitting over Andrew Mangiapane with the way he's playing right now.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Just because at least with Clattenburg, you get everything you've got, and his actual goals per game is higher anyway. So Now, I'm not expecting him to score 1 goal every 4 games. I mean, he'd be a 20-goal scorer. So let's be realistic here about Clattenburg. But you know what? He brings you a lot of energy, and he gets in the areas and he creates some chances, and that's all you want. Jake Wallman's injury history, how much of a concern is it becoming for you?
It's tough, right? And you can look at these things in like a glass half full, glass half empty kind of way where, like, you know, Josh Norris in Buffalo, it is always his shoulder. And to me, when it is the same injury over and over and over again, that's when I look at a guy and go like, oh, I would stay away from him and I don't want him on my team. If he is a bad, I mean, we saw with Oscar Klefbom here, it's unfortunate, but it's like he had a bad shoulder and that's what ended his career. So with Wallman, the fact that it always seems to be something different, I tend to lean more to the side of like, that's bad luck. Some people could lean and you can make the case, well, maybe he's, you know, the old, I'll use air quotes, made of glass and everything hurts him. But I think I want to go more the direction of like, it's not the same injury. This one is a deep bone bruise. I like to think as tough as you are, a deep bone bruise from a blocked shot, that's just going to hurt no matter who you are. So I think I lean more the way of I'm not overly concerned because it's different things and it feels like it could just be more bad luck.
Yeah, I had a doctor reach out to me who feels like if a deep bone bruise can mean that sometimes they found a small fracture in there after, because sometimes when the swelling's so bad, you won't detect it the first time, right? And so that might be what's detected here. Now, you know, small fractures, you know, nowadays, oh, this guy's playing with a broken leg, and I don't have some doc buddies who are like, it's not a broken leg. Like, you know, like there's different levels of it. Broken leg just sounds way better, right? But he said there could be a small fracture, so, you know, it becomes really uncomfortable, and so you're better off to rest it for sure in a game of contact because you take another shot, and then, you know, it could become much, much worse. So it's just, he is a player, though, that has been, you know, on the sidelines quite often each year, right? And so when you're in a long-term contract, you know, you're, hey, this guy gets paid this much, but he's going to basically miss 20 games a year. It's just not ideal. It's just, there's certain guys where you take for granted their durability.
Oh, absolutely. And that's another reason why, as much as there's a lot of frustration, and understandably so, with how like a guy like Brett Kulak's played through the beginning of the season, first 6 weeks were real rough with him, but you sit and look, 82 games, 82 games, 82 games, right? 3 for 3 in his full seasons as an Oiler, and he's 30 for 30 to start this year. Like, having that guy who can just steady eat anywhere from 15 to 18 minutes a night. And again, he had a rough stretch at the start of the year, but I was a big, like, you don't just throw that guy away, because the best availability with defensemen is dependability. And, you know, I heard the Stetcher conversation from earlier. Like, yeah, if Jake Wallman's healthy, we're not even whispering Troy Stetcher's name right now. We're like, oh, he's doing what in Toronto? Good for him. No room for him in Edmonton. So, yeah, the Wallman injury, again, really, really tough. Alec Regula has had some really, really rough shifts these last couple of games. So they miss Wallman, man. And I also think it highlights a little bit of a need for, come trade deadline time, you're probably looking to upgrade on that spot in the 6-7 area.
Oh, yes, 100%. I think a lot of teams, well, you see it every year, you know, teams will give up a 4th rounder or 5th rounder for a veteran D-man, and some guys end up playing 10, 12, 15 games, sometimes even more than that. And, you know, your guy who's in the lineup every night and just becomes a solid defender, they're worth a lot, right? The Oilers have made bigger acquisitions, obviously Ekholm and Wallman, but, you know, kind of like if you could make another, maybe not as high as a Brett Kulak, because Brett Kulak, when he got acquired from Montreal, he was outstanding. He's been outstanding really in the playoffs. Last year was kind of the first time he had a little bit of a dip. So no, I could definitely see that being something for sure. I don't know if you heard Ken Hitchcock's comments. We were asking him about, you know, a guy like Bouchard who can make some of those plays that, you know, frustrate you. And he shared a great story about what he learned when he coached Rob Brown. Was like, he was always on Rob Brown because he'd try some plays that didn't work. And one of the captains came up and said, why are you so hard on him? And he's like, wow. And he goes, hey, the guy said, well, we like him, and he makes a lot of really good plays for us. And Hitch said, if it doesn't bother the players, it doesn't bother him as a coach. And it was, and it was just like, because you hear McDavid and Draisaitl and how they talk about Bouchard, and they live with his mistakes because he makes way more good plays than bad plays. It was just an interesting comment that I hadn't really heard from a coach.
Yeah, I actually had someone, one of your listeners, Lance, sent that to me because he was like, hey, I think you'll really enjoy this story that Hitchcock told, because I've been someone who really, you know, I like to think I stick up for Evan Bouchard. I try to always look at the positive side of the Bouchard thing. And I say, like, a lot of these mistakes, maybe last night notwithstanding, like, a lot of his mistakes are like in the name of he's trying to make an elite play, right? Like, he's trying to hold on to it that extra second so a seam can open up and like it falls apart. But it's funny you had Hitchcock talking about that today. I had Bruce Boudreau on my show, and we talked to him about, like, how do you deal with a star player like that who makes a mistake, and it's like, okay, do you want to hold them accountable? But on the other hand, they're your best chance to go get that goal back, right? Evan Bouchard got an assist. I know it was a secondary assist, but he got an assist on the game-tying goal with a second left, and Boudreau compared it to when he had Mike Green. And he's like, I had guys on the team who I knew I could yell and scream at. But he said when Mike Green made a mistake, I learned early on, if I yelled at him, he got embarrassed. He felt bad. He felt worse. He went into a shell. I never got him at a good level the rest of the game, he says. But if I leaned over to him when no one was kind of looking and just said, hey, Greener, tap him. I need a little more from you tonight. He said that kind of like gave him the juice, and that's how he got the best results, right? So I think it's funny when people are like, bench Bouchard. Why doesn't Knobloch call this out post-game? And it's like, because I'd like to think Chris Knobloch knows the guy he's been coaching for almost 2 years or for over 2 years now. And maybe he knows that Evan Bouchard won't respond all that well to, being screamed at in front of his teammates.
Well, anybody who says, hey, the coach has to yell at the player, to that shows that he cares more or anything. And I'm like, have you ever coached? Because you can learn even at young levels, certain players you have to talk to, and certain players some players do respond to being like, hey, all right, let's get going. I need more from you, right? And others, it's got to be a little pat on the back that said, hey, you know what? What did you see there? And then you let them tell you, all right, okay, let's try to see something different next time. And away you go. So hey, quickly, give me your thoughts on some of the signings in MLB here. The Mets are losing all their guys. The Orioles, Alonso. I don't know how much Alonso has left as a big name guy. We'll see. But, the Jays are supposedly in on everybody, but they got to move some guys. And like, I'm kind of, if they bring in all these guys like Turner, like, I just don't know, like, is that the guy they need? Where are they going to fit him in? Like, I'd probably argue I'd rather have Bo Bichette at second base than I think Turner is an outfielder.
Yeah, and like, listen, one of the things that made the Jays so successful last year is their ability to take two guys, platoon them, and have them be the equivalent of like an all-star level player, right? Like you had the bat of Addison Barger when he got to face right-handed pitching, parlayed with the glove of Ernie Clement when you had a pitcher or when you had a left-handed pitcher. And it's like, yeah, together, when you look at the season as a whole, that worked out perfectly for them. And I kind of share your point with, like, if you have a chance to sign Kyle Tucker, you probably just do it because he's so good. And having him next to Vladdy for the next 10 years would be a really, really special thing. But you kind of start to go through the exercise of like, okay, if Tucker's got to be in the field every day, next year, George Springer's got to DH pretty much every day, which means Santander's in the field every day. Now you have Tucker and Santander in your corners. You're very weak in the outfield. There's basically no spot for you to play Nathan Lucas now, who probably earns a chance to have, again, at least be in a platoon role next year. Like, it's a mushy fit. Whereas if you don't have Tucker, you take Bo, you put Bo at second, you're still giving Barger at bats, whether he's playing third or right field. Lucas gets at bat and right. Like everything fits better with Bo. Yes, but man, Kyle Tucker's so good. And like, that's where I'm like so torn on what the right decision is.
Yeah. Well, the Jays really value defense, right? And like Barger's arm in the outfield is a weapon. And I think I like that guy a lot. I think Barger's the guy that people are like, I think you move him. I think he's got potential. Like I love how he runs the bases. Like I like how he plays strong, hard, fast. Seems like a funny guy. Like, talking about, sleeping on couches and different things like that. Like he is, I don't know, maybe just, and I get that you can't let emotions run it as a manager, but I just look at his skill set. Like the guy hits bombs, like he can hit big. Look at him. Ever since he got that late home run, he was unreal. Like everyone's like, oh, it's kind of a nothing home run. I was like, no. Guys get confidence. He hit that bomb. He was unreal after that. The guy was hitting like 400 in the World Series, for goodness sakes.
And again, like we were just talking about the Oilers. Like, oh, when Roslovic and Kapanen are back, what do? No one's ever healthy all at the same time. And baseball's the same thing. Like, you're going to play 162 games. Guys are going to be hurt at some point. To have a guy like Barger, who you can go, you know what? We're getting an average glove plus arm in right field, or we put him at third base. We're same thing. We're getting average glove plus arm, but he's like above average at the position as a whole. That versatility over a 162 game season, it's massive. Even Bo, right? You bring Bo back, and if you have to have the conversation of like, hey, you're playing second base, Bo's at short. The versatility you get from these guys, I do worry a little bit. Like is there room to have Tucker, Santander, and Springer on the same roster? And I don't know.
Yeah, well, maybe Santander becomes a trade piece then. Who knows? We shall see. Ty, have yourself a great day. We will chat with you next week, my man.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
There you go. That's Tyler Rentrock from Oilers Nation. Quick break. We got some more bids in. Steve at 3650, on Carlo at 3800 as we rock and roll here. Get it up a little bit. That's what we like. Helping out the Christmas Bureau. 833-401-1440 in this Unreal package, courtesy of Culligan. It's going to have your water system in your home much, much better. Free from heavy metals, chlorine, pharmaceuticals, forever chemicals. Get the water softener, the reverse osmosis system, and the whole home organic contaminant removal system, courtesy of Culligan. We'll take a quick break. Return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design, build, sketching strategy, from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
Aloha Edmonton, it's back. Century Vision Care's 4th annual Maui Christmas event on Friday, December 12th from 9 to 5. Century Vision Care, Edmonton's biggest Maui gym retailer, is bringing the island spirit to your holiday shopping. Enjoy in-house savings on all prescription and non-prescription Maui gyms, plus giveaways, prizes, snacks, and beverages all day. Same-day eye exam appointments are available, and they direct bill most insurance plans, but spots are filling fast. Get ahead on your Christmas list and treat yourself to a new pair of Maui gyms. Visit Century Vision Care on Instagram.
Black Friday deals continue at the Brick. And until December 11th, you can save big in every department. Save up to $1,000 off sectionals, up to 40% off mattresses, and up to 30% off furniture. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to an extra $300 off select major appliances. Don't wait for the crowds. It's your last chance for Black Friday deals. See thebrick.com for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
You're at home, in the car, or on the move. You're never more than a tap away from Sports 1440. Download the radio player or iHeart app today so you can get all access anytime to Edmonton's only sports radio station, Sports 1440.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 15% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until December 13th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Hey, you know winter is really freaking cold, right? So play it smart. Don't get caught freezing in your car with your pants down and no power. At Big Toy Shop right now, lead-acid batteries are just $129. $129 is a great price for a good start. Big Toy Shop. Power up and save some bucks at Big Toy Shop, 8315 Argyle Road, 780-298-2797.
Portions of this hour brought to you by EUL. Get your power play amped up with EUL, supplying the city of champions in Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. EUL.ca is your partner in power.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
It is the final countdown, the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. John and Doug, be sure to answer your phones because the con man's going to be calling you guys. We always like everybody to be fair and get their bids in. In fact, we learned over the years it's not best to do it on text because some texts are delayed. So answer your phones. The con man will be calling you. We'll get your final bids here for package, courtesy of Culligan. I'll help out Christmas Bureau. Late night in the NHL, like most Wednesdays, really. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays are, of course, the big nights. The other big news is that Connor Halley has returned to the ice practicing for the Winnipeg Jets. That has to be a welcome sign for the Jets. In goal, Thatcher Demko is ready to go. He's going to return to the lineup tomorrow for the Vancouver Canucks. You have games tonight. I guess just like it was on Monday, Oilers fans, if you want to watch Detroit, because they're taking on Calgary tonight at 7:30 Edmonton time. You also have the Rangers in Chicago. Puck just dropped there about 8 minutes ago. No score. Florida's in Utah, and then the LA Kings in Seattle. The Kraken trying to end a losing streak. The Kraken have started well, but seem to have hit the skids a little bit. They're not playing their young guys. Like Shane Wright played 11 minutes last game. They're not scoring. I don't really understand what the hell's going on there, to be honest, with how they're using Shane Wright. So that's something to monitor, and we'll see where it goes from there. Oiler news, not anything overly different other than Janmark didn't practice today. It's a maintenance day. Trent Frederick was skating about halfway through practice. He was behind the net. They were practicing at the downtown community rink, and I guess that would be the west end of that arena. And he was behind the net, and puck came in, deflected off right in the took him in the face, and so he was leaking pretty hard. Went off with the trainers right away. Did not return to practice, albeit there was only 15 minutes left anyway. Then you had 6 defensemen, no one else. Philpott skated earlier, then didn't feel great, so he didn't skate today. He's not going to play this weekend. Clantenberg's not going to play this weekend. Obviously, Kapanen's on LTIR. He's not even skating yet. Roslovic isn't close for another week plus. Jake Wallman's not playing this week. And look for the Oilers to put Jake Wallman on LTIR, probably on, I would think, maybe on Friday, as they would recall both a forward and a defenseman. I think there's a good chance the D-man recall is going to be Josh Brown. As for the forward, I think it might be we might see Quinn Hudson potentially get recalled. We'll see. But they will bring up a forward and defense because they're going on a 5-game road trip, right? You don't want to be across. You've got Bakersfield. You don't want to be across on the eastern side to lose somebody, and then you got to fly them in. They're tired, so you bring up those guys. You bring up those guys beforehand. So look for them to bring up a forward and a defenseman. And Quinn Hudson's played very well down in the American League this year. 13 goals in 21 games. Right? Anytime you can be a point-a-game player in the American League as a rookie. Now, he's an older rookie coming out, but still, he's a rookie. And it's a man's league. It's a tough league. So good for him. That's, it's early on. Just, we all know what you do in the AHL. Hello, Anton Lander. Doesn't mean you're going to do in the NHL. But there are some guys who can make that jump. And, Quinn Hudson's looked really well. Played really well right now. So it's good for him. And it's a good sign. You got some guys in your system, a Howard, Hudson, who, if you call them up, you hope they can contribute. Look at Manny Savoy, right? He's done it, so it's worked out well. Tomorrow we'll preview the Oilers and the Red Wings. We got more month of giving, and we'll have Thursday, and more. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Have yourself a wonderful Thursday tomorrow. Stay warm because it is going to get chilly. Plug your car in. Turn your lights on, drive home safe. Let's get to the Con Man, a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. It's chilly. You need a furnace? Think Legacy. No payments, no interest for 1 year. LegacyHeating.ca. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Later night in the NHL this evening, just 4 games on the schedule. Midway through the first, Blackhawks and Rangers scoreless at 6:30. Got the Flames and the Red Wings at 7. Panthers in Utah, and at 8 o'clock, Kraken meeting the LA Kings. In the association NBA Cup quarterfinals, right now, Thunder up on the Suns 24-14. Later on tonight, you got the Spurs taking on the Lakers. AJHL, Devon and Calgary, puck drop at 7. Game 3 of the rivalry series has the Canadian women taking on the Americans at Rogers Place, 7 o'clock. The Toronto Blue Jays have selected right-handed pitcher Spencer Miles from the San Francisco Giants with the 27th pick in the Rule 5 draft. And Pete Alonso is joining the Baltimore Orioles on a 5-year, $155 million contract. The 5-time All-Star first baseman hit 38 home runs and 126 RBIs last season with the Mets. University of Michigan football coach Sharon Moore has been terminated with cause effective immediately following a university investigation where evidence was found that Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. The Wolverines will play Texas in the Citrus Bowl on New Year's Eve. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, it is Fox Sports Radio all night long. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with Kevin Carius here on Sports 1440, streaming on our YouTube channel, Sports 1440 AM. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station.